2, 1. And we're live.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right. Ready to count in? 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, SweatySpookz.
And what's up, Guardians? This is Native Raider, and we are the BlueBerry Lounge.
Bringing you episode 22. This special feature botched to you in part by Sweaty and
Myself.
There's the botch. Oh man, how's your week been?
I mean, it hasn't even been a full week since we've been live. That was a couple of days, right?
Right.
Monday.
It was.
Yeah,
I've definitely had some events.
You have. Since then, it's been cool, man. Like enjoying my time off from work. So got into some streaming type shit, trying to figure that stuff out. Last night, pretty much all of yesterday. Like my wife's like, yeah, you could just chill today. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just relax. But nah, bro, I just dove straight into like the elements and like YouTube videos to try to figure out what the hell I'm doing and trying to design something that looks kind of, good to say the least. But it's been cool since our last cast. About yourself?
Fuck yeah. We well, as of yesterday, there's a new little baby in the house. Not a human baby. We ended up picking up a little kitty cat. But this is a very, very special kitty cat. We ended up getting a Bengal cat, which is pretty awesome. We named him Revan. A lot of folks out there will probably catch a reference, but Revan is one of the names out of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. His story arc is basically like he's a good guy who does a lot of bad shit for the better good, I guess. Anyways, he's a really cute cat, very responsive, and his tracking ability is just on next level. But yeah, we're very excited to have him. Super chill, super cute, and fits right in. So we're super happy to have him. Very excited.
He's a cute cat, bro. I love his coat. It looks dope. It looks so good.
His coloring is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were blessed enough to be able to offer to have the first pick. There's a bit of a special story behind the why. I mean, there was an episode a little while back where pets are family too. That was basically a nod to Lincoln. She had passed, would have been Easter Friday this year. So, I went through the grieving process and did everything that is required there. And this little cute bundle of joy was born on the Tuesday after Easter Monday, which is kind of messed up a little bit. But in between that time, what makes it a little more messed up, my daughter, she like nobody prompted her to do anything, all on her own. She was in the store with her mom, and she found like this little, it looked like a craft picture, I guess, a small little frame. Actually, I got it right here.
Oh, let's go live. Oh, that's awesome, man. I know how much you love your cat.
So for the listeners, sorry, I had to take my headphones off, which are wired, and then put them back on. It's a pain in the butt. For the listeners, what I just showed them was a little portrait of basically a craft. It's just like two sandstones that are glued onto a canvas, and then around it, it's like a stick figure painting of two kitty cats. So my daughter sees this in a market and asked her mom if she can get it, and said that she wanted to get it for daddy. She's 4 years old. And her mom was like, okay, why? Why this? And she was like, well, it's Lincoln telling our baby cat that everything's going to be okay. And I was like, you were so sweet. So, yeah, it's just, a very special cat, I have to say. Definitely, absolutely. So, yeah, pretty happy there. But enough about us. Why don't we introduce our guests here? Shall you there, Raider?
Yeah. without further ado, we do have the Guardian Downcast host. We got Hazelnt and Todd the Gatr, man. Like, thank you guys for joining us. It's an absolute honor because, especially, I mean, that's my first introduction to this whole community stuff of Discord or anything like that in the Destiny game. And yeah, welcome.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you, guys. We're honored to be on.
Yeah.
And to boot, even to add to that, you know, check out episode 1 and episode 2, and you'll see these fine gentlemen's names there.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome back. It's nice to have you guys on, like, you know, as together this time, as opposed to individuals. Although that was much appreciated as well. But we've never really had you guys together as the show yet, so this is nice.
So-
Actually, all of us together, really.
So you want to hear the couple argue? I see.
Oh, here we go. Who got to keep the dog?
It's all right.
We're gonna just throw some shit out there and let you guys entertain.
Aw.
No, we've been actually pretty agreeable the last few weeks. Been a lot to agree on. So
Definitely, last episode I noticed quite a few.
yeah, we didn't plan on going 4 hours on that podcast, but we both got into it and we looked up and was like, we haven't even done listener questions yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun
Is
one.
what it is.
I finished that last night actually while I was grilling. I did a late
It's a long one.
night grill
It's a
on
long
some
one.
burgers, and I was like, it was like 12, I don't know, after midnight, and I was like, man, I think I got like 40 minutes left. You guys were in my ears on my way to work. The last day I went to work, on my way back from work. That's an hour each way too. So that was half the
that's a
show.
little
It was awesome.
I'm telling you, I promised myself I would never go over 3 hours again. And there we are. So, thanks for listening though, dude. Really.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, tonight,
We're surprised anybody does actually.
I don't have to work in the morning. Sweaty doesn't have to work in the morning. I don't know
This
about you
is correct
guys.
information.
Nice.
We got some good stuff to talk about, so
Oh yes.
there's
And you
no
know
time
what?
limit either.
By the end of it, just us 4 here, we're going to be singing Kumbaya just specifically to Gatr at the end of it.
Just like the end
Really?
of the Destiny 2 story. What do you think, Hazel?
Oh,
Yep.
boy.
Yep. Exactly. That's my dream.
That's a story arc. That's what's happening, right? That's
it
what
seems
this
like
is
it,
all
doesn't it?
building up towards. All of it.
Care, stare.
No.
But before we dive into that, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we just go over a little bit of housekeeping here? First and foremost, we'd like to thank you for joining the lounge to DJ NovaBerry and as well as Jack Attack Jake. So thank you to you folks for joining. And a Patreon shout out, a big heart shape with both of my hands to Mr. Bellberry, aka Tell the Bull. Tell the Bull. See, I did it again. tell
Freudian slip.
the bell. And Yeehaw Bear, I'm so sorry. AKA Soused Waffle. Got to get the soused in there. No. But yeah, so Mr. Raider, once we go through that stuff, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to hit up the guest interview. We're going to go through Wheel of Misfortune, show topic, a little bit of Destiny news and notes regarding there's a TWID, some questions from the community, announcements, and probably some closure from there. If I'm not mistaken, did I miss anything there?
Nah, I think you hit it, man. That's
All right.
it.
Perfect. So, with that being said, and without further ado, Mr. Raider, could you take us into our first question, please?
Yep. Let me scroll back up. I had to mute the mic. The wife just came home. The dogs were going off. But
How dare your dogs let you know somebody walked in the house?
so for this guest interview, we kind of I scrapped our regular legacy questions because you guys are already so well known. If those that don't know you, if you guys give us a brief description of who you are and include your podcast and all that kind of good stuff. And in the rare case that there is one of the listeners out there that don't know who you two fine gentlemen are.
Oh goodness, man! Listen to this guy.
I'm just buttering you guys up for later when we get in the show topic. It's about to get real.
I'm ready. I'm ready to
Feelings
fight.
are inbound.
He's a Titan, remember.
No, don't let him fool you. He's a hunter. Oh, go ahead, Hazel. You want to start off?
So sure. Our show basically we're two dads. We've been playing Destiny since the beta, D1 beta that is, and Pretty much we talk about current events in gaming, in Destiny mainly. Uh, and then see where the conversation takes us. It was funny. Technical. He actually made a comment in the Discord that he's like, I noticed that you guys kind of pick different sides on a topic, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, sometimes that happens, and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, that's not planned. That's just who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was eye-opening for him because he's just like, oh wow. He's like, so those are like your real thoughts. It's like, yeah, it's not staged. So
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Gay?
For me, let's see. Destiny 1 beta player. Totally, all I play is Destiny. That's really all I do. People have tried to get me to play other games. I even lost a bet this season because I didn't play one I swore I would play. So I'm playing Hunter all season. For a Warlock, that's very, very tough adjustment. But I love our podcast, Guardian Downcast, because Hazel and I get to air our grievances, whether at each other or about what's going on in the community for the week. And it's a good outlet for both of us, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a long ride. Actually, we're going to go. You know what? We should announce it right here, Hazel. This would be a perfect place to announce it. We're going to celebrate our 4th year podcasting in 3 weeks. I think that'll be the 22nd. I think it is, and we're going to have a live show on our Discord.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think anybody knows about that. So we're going to do a live show for our 4th year anniversary, and 4 years of talking with this guy. You think I need therapy by now, But
I need a new liver.
Something like that.
I'll drink to that.
Sake.
I just love this game, Destiny. I mean, ever since I saw that opening teaser in 2013 at E3 and then realized the game wasn't going to be out for another whole year, kind of like how we are with Marathon right now. I've just always been I love this game. And because I love it so much, I want to try to help new players who try to get into the game. So I have a YouTube channel, Todd the Gatr, shameless plug, where I try to make videos that help new players answer just the little questions that maybe not everyone always puts out there. And it's been incredible. I just started really seriously growing my channel in August of last year, got partnered in March, and continued growth every week. It's just been a lot of fun. And we actually post some of our I put shorts out every week, actually every day, on that channel of little clips, 60-second clips of our podcast. So it's kind of a highlight clip of our podcast. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I just love Destiny, man. I mean, it has its ups and downs, but I've always endured when it comes to Destiny. Always still play Destiny. So that's me.
I could definitely agree with that last and little tail there. I mean, like, sure, maybe I haven't been around since maybe the alpha or the beta or anything like that. But I mean, as soon as I did hit that bandwagon, I actually have a discovery that I made since the last time we talked, guys. So the individual that got me into Destiny, Knight X15, I was talking to him recently and he was like, no, Spookz, you are a D1 like original vet. Like, you have the dates on your Xbox. I can tell you that because I was there. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're a D1 original vet before D2. You were there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I was this whole time, so I wasn't claiming it. So hey, guess what? I get to say now.
Yep. You're officially an elitist. There you go.
You're probably taking Todd is what I'm thinking. Probably taking King. Yeah.
But needless to say, like, I started taking the game seriously, I guess, in Forsaken. So, I mean, I took a screenshot just today. I just clocked 4,016 hours.
Nice.
Wow.
So I would like to think that I as well love this game. And I definitely want to see the success of this game. But I mean, all things aside, for the time being, I'm going to say, the thing that makes this game unique 110% is the community every time for me, certainly. So, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, also, since you guys have been friends and co-hosts so long, describe your counterpart using only 3 words and elaborate the reasons
Only
for
3?
your chosen words.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Throw them under the rug, Hazel. No, just kidding.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. I'm thinking. So you can go first,
Oh, great. So he's going to
I'll
change.
edit it.
and then I'll
Yeah, edit it out in post.
I'll edit mine. based on yours.
He's in a way. You know what it is? He's waiting to see what I say about him. Okay. First word. It's a 2-syllable word. It's a kind of a dash word. So, pretend Titan,
Ooh.
obstinate, but honest. He pretends to be a Titan, but his true love is really a hunter. He's very, very obstinate when it comes to trying to change his mind about something. It is near impossible. I've almost given up. But here's the thing I always love about Hazel. He'll give you his honest opinion, and he's straight up with you. So, yeah, that's my 3 words.
I gotta look up that obstinate word.
Um,
I have to look that
what's
up.
a synonym for obstinate? It would be
Hard-headed.
there. I should
Okay.
use that one. That's better.
Oh, okay. The LA public school system ain't the best.
Nah, you're good. Oh man, that guy.
Gullible, somebody want him much.
What a prick.
Let's see here. Wow. Yeah, so many words come to mind.
This is a mature podcast, so
Oh, that's even better then. Now I have more words to choose from.
Hey, I did the rated G version.
Listen to it. I would think I'll go with I'm gonna say honest as one of them. Okay. Let's see here.
Go ahead,
Improving.
just rip the Band-Aid off.
I'll say improving as the second one. Improvement as my second word for him.
Improvement. Okay.
Yeah. And you said gullible? That was
No.
your word.
No, I said you were. I'm surprised that one didn't come in.
It's still early. Yeah, I will go with gullible.
No, just go Warlock. There we go.
No. Sure. I'll go with gullible because of Alt F4.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got him on that?
Yes.
I didn't get him on that.
He even brought the receipt, Gatr.
that was jealous gaming, by the way. Who did that to me?
I was there that day. I was there. That was one of the
You
earliest
were.
days that I joined.
And I'll be honest, it was not fake. I literally thought that's how you fixed it.
Oh man, I will never forget.
That's how much non-PC gaming
You wanted
I
a
did.
screenshot because you thought that the environment looked very beautiful the way that it was just set out, and you were like, how do I get a screenshot of this?
Control print screen now. I know now.
That's how we got you.
Yep.
You did. I left the game.
It was amazing. And we had to wait to get in and all that. The
Yeah.
servers. It's fantastic.
Hmm.
So, okay. So,
I
yeah.
like
Improvement because this guy is always trying to improve. I mean,
Mhm.
be it whatever he, is doing, he's just like, I want to keep trying to learn more and stuff like this. And then he comes to me and he's just like, hey, what do you think about this? And me, I'm like, most of the time I know what he's talking about, but there are other times where I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. But I'm like, I'll give you my honest opinion because, I mean, when he said honest for me, it's because honestly, I don't have time to lie to somebody and tell you a lie and tell fluffy a lie and things like this, because you're gonna ask me about it or something, and you know what? I'm not gonna remember if I lie. So
I won't. I can't remember crap.
So yeah. So that's the reason why I'm honest. I just can't remember anything, so I have to be honest. But
Yeah.
I mean, but with Gatr though, I mean, improvement is definitely a big thing with him. There we got into it like pretty heated about one thing, and he's like, yeah, that wasn't my best moment. He's like, I need to do better. And ever since then, he's been like really like diving into the topics and things like this, which makes me less obstinate, smartass, because I'm not arguing against, I just don't know who it's for. I don't know who it's for. It's like, how do you?
That was a rough
argue with
episode. That was a rough episode.
That was, yes, for me especially.
Oh my god!
I'd lost hair because of that episode.
Well, I think on that episode, this was about the exotic focusing. If you haven't heard that episode, the new exotic focusing, and
Don't listen to it. That's
it's pretty bad. It's like we were just showed up to pick a fight, and I would throw a few jabs, then he would throw a few jabs, and I'd throw a few. Just got heated. We just got each other so heated that show.
for me.
And poor Bell was our guest.
Yeah.
He was like, I think on that episode, Mom and Dad, please don't fight. Focusing. If you haven't heard that episode, the new exotic focusing, and
he's like Bell.
it's pretty bad.
He's like,
It's like we were just showed up to pick a fight, and I would throw a few jabs, then he would throw a few jabs, and I'd throw a few. Just got heated. We just got each other so heated that show. And poor Bell was our guest. He was like, I think on that episode, Mom and Dad, please don't fight. If you haven't heard that episode, the new exotic focusing, and
he's like, you may not like
it's pretty bad. It's like we were just showed up to pick a fight. And I would throw a few jabs. I'm too forgetful to be able to. I'd throw a few. Just got heated. We just got each other so heated that show. I can't remember the names of half the weapons in this game. He was like, I think on that episode, Mom and Dad, please don't fight. I heard that episode. The new. I think I'm gonna cry. And it's pretty bad. It's
the mat with all the different colored spots. Whenever you yeah.
Looks like Simon Says for me right now.
Take the red wire, cross it with the black wire, and takes the inverter and turns it to a converter, bro.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Technology, man. Are you streaming us live to YouTube?
Yep.
On your native channel?
Yes,
I was
sir.
on Sweaty's channel. Okay, I'll switch over.
I'm watching it, so I'm giving him a view.
Oh, good. I'll get in there too. Let's see. Native. NATIVE. Just kidding.
This guy.
I like that name. That's a good channel name. People never forget it.
Reuse. Shit. I completely deleted it too.
I mute my mic because my dogs are going off.
Man.
Amateur bullshit. No, just kidding.
That's the first time this happened too. That's odd. I blame the stream elements bullshit.
Yeah, probably is Stream Elements, honestly.
Definitely not us.
100%.
Hey, Sweaty.
Yo.
I've got a question for you. So, how does it work regarding the Wheel of Misfortune?
The Wheel.
I know it's
of
coming
Misfortune.
up, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of cheesing it a little.
Oh, okay. All right, so here's how it works, all right? First, foremost, you can only save one legendary. We do not consider exotics because you can pull them for your collections.
Yeah.
I mean, craftables is one other thing, but I guess with the time investment that you have to put into them, that's fine. However, the idea is we, as PvP players, I'll say, tend to have attachments to our weapons because they're what allow us to perform in certain niche scenarios, and things like that. So there may have been a pursuit involving a story where you grinded said activity for X amount of time in order to get the perfect PvP roll, et cetera, et cetera. The idea is we want a story, right? So we depended a little bit on RNG to pull just a random weapon from your vault. and we happen to see if it's the one that you wanted to save. Sometimes that happens. But if not, then we see what we end up pulling. Whether you're comfortable or not with deleting it, don't feel obligated. But by the sounds of things, listeners tend to like it. It's quite odd whenever you get Killed a Monkey on here because he tends to challenge another roll of the dice.
Makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
Oh, and Dan Finity as well. He's like, yeah, roll the dice, $5.
Dan's a great guy, man. Dan is
Price
a
is
super
going
guy.
up, $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
All right, we are back live and get back into these questions. The next one, why Destiny? For both of you guys, why Destiny, and when did you realize that this is your game and you wanted to start a podcast all about it? Like, what's that origin story of this is my shit?
Gatr.
Oh, I'll go first. Well, I kind of mentioned it already. I was a burnout 40-something gamer. I was a 40-something gamer playing Call of Duty with my buds every night, and I love those guys. But my God, if I saw another Call of Duty game, another multiplayer night, I know those. Let's just say I still have dreams about certain maps in Call of Duty. They're imprinted in my brain. Anyway, when I saw the teaser at E3 in 2013, I was like, "What is this? Oh my God, it's Call of Duty, but space. It's space aliens and stuff. This is awesome." And it's showing how realistic the guns look. They're still not real guns in real life, but they're believable. You can believe in the guns. There's patina on them, and it looks like they've been used and picked up off the battlefield. And that first flyover when you come out playing the beta, the first flyover where that giant Kell ship comes over and everything turns dark, the screen shakes. There's a ripple effect running through the land. I was in. I was hooked. And once I saw that scene, still to this day, it's my favorite scene ever in Destiny. And as far as the podcast, this was fast forward to 2019. Destiny 2 had been out for a couple of years. And we were really tied to the Dad's Tales podcast. And I was majorly hooked on Dad's Tales. In fact, I went back and listened to every one of their episodes because I wanted to know more about these guys, And then a friend of ours, Gear Dad, aka Jay, came out with a podcast where he would interview the community. And the questions were the same every week, but the answers weren't. And I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic idea. That put an idea in my head from the beginning that talking to everyday gamers in the community, it's enticing. Because you play next to the guy next to you in the game, his gamer tag and stuff, but you never really know him or her. And to hear their story and where they come from and where they hail from and what got them into Destiny and stuff, that's what everyone wants to know. So Dad's Tales was wrapping it up, and I think it was, do you remember who it was, Hazel, that mentioned that we should do a podcast? Because the reason our names came up is because we were in the same clan in Dad's Tales, and we would go at each other in the clan chat. It was like we were like little brothers. It was like he would come back with, of course, his comebacks. He always comes back. I'll say something like, I don't know, facetiously. Sorry, my dogs are barking, and he would come back with a quip, and I was like, I like that guy. I like when guys do that stuff, And we eventually just became known as two characters in the clan chat. And after that, I'm trying to think who it was that mentioned it, but someone said, Hazel and Gatr, you should do a podcast. And I was like, what's a podcast? I mean, I'd listened to Dad's Tales. I had no other podcast that I listened to. And I just went on YouTube that night and figured out how to podcast, and the rest is history. Hazel can fill in all the extra stuff there. I'm sure he has more to say.
Yeah. So, with my story, how I got started, is well, actually, I'll just go kind of backwards. So, how he was mentioning how we got started. Um, oh, it's gonna annoy me so much. Um, he's in Ohio. I know where he lives and things like this. Um, it's gonna annoy me to no end until I remember his name. I'll shout it out randomly in the show. But
Awesome.
yeah. He was his son actually he left us a voicemail with his son that he actually listened to us and with his son, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I can't believe that you let your kid listening to this. But then it was like, that's really cool because he edited it. But he was like he was one of the people that mentioned us, and then like a couple other people were like, oh yeah, they should do it, because actually at the time when Gatr said that him and I were in the same clan, it's because crossplay didn't happen yet.
Mm.
So we were in the PlayStation clan, and most of their clan was in the Xbox side.
Mhm.
So that was crazy, right? Can you
That's where
imagine
I
that?
started too, actually. It was that Xbox side. I remember kind of the early days of you guys starting that.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah. So then we basically just. I mean, I had entertained the idea with a friend of mine,
Mm.
Easy, from the beginning episodes, and then he got pregnant, or well, he didn't get pregnant, but his wife did. Awkward. But yeah, and then life just happens. So, but we're still here doing this thing. But my story and how I found Destiny, and when I thought that it was like, just absolutely amazing, was I was just out on patrol in just regular vanilla Destiny, and it was when the walker showed up in the beginning of the game. Not like the first one, but like just when you're out on patrol, that kind of thing, like right after that. And I was running through and I'm trying to fight this thing. And I was like at level 1 or 2, and there was just no way it was going to happen. So I was just like, oh no. And I was like running in between the two, like, two like trailers that are there. And as I was, two like level 12s or level 9s or something like that were running on top of those trailers the other way to fight the walker. And I was just like, oh wow. And then I turned around and I saw they had names above them. I was like, these are like actual people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is something different. And then I joined in. I died a couple times, of course, but I joined in, and we won and everything else. And it was great. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Seeing those heroes out there, those other guardians, like, oh, damn.
yeah, yeah. Here I was thinking they were coming to save me, and they were just in it for the loot. But
Of
we're not
course.
going to talk about that.
Of course. Now you can carry them through any
Yes.
content, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it kind of has like this little mental effect when you're starting out. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a familiar environment. Take out like your neighbors, I'll say, in terms of just like being in an open world or something like that. But it feels kind of familiar, it kind of looks Halo-ish esque. It feels good, and next thing you know, you're fighting this thing, and then somebody comes along to help you, and then it's just kind of like, oh, hello, like I wasn't expecting any help, and just to be able to have that help, and I don't know, it has an effect. It's very special and unique to this game.
It does.
That's awesome. You want to hit the next question?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, if you guys were given the keys to the kingdom at Bungie, we're kind of curious from each of you, and I know that it's a little bit different for each. What changes would you be implementing first day on the job?
Yeah, I went first last time.
I have two. I don't know which one to pick.
Whatever one you think is the spiciest of the sauces.
Get rid of bounties. Oh, shit.
I was
Just
going to say
kidding.
delete warlocks.
What?
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Um,
It's all right, Gatr. I won't betray you.
Thank you. Thank you.
First day on the job, what would I do? I don't want to say. I know what Gator's going to say,
Oh, you don't.
and I don't want to take his thunder from this because it's him.
Is this something we talked about recently?
Fuck if I know, dude.
Oh, okay.
Do you think I remember what we talk about?
I don't know. You were drinking heavily that night. That's true.
It's every night. But go ahead, Gator, because I know what I'm gonna say, and I think you and I might be on the same page, believe it or not.
You're probably on the right track.
You want me to say it?
Just go ahead. It's probably
Delete
not what I'm
PvP.
thinking. It's not delete PvP because I love PvP. We get into PvP talk tonight. My ears are gonna perk way up. No, I think Destiny's woes began way back at in Rise of Iron is when I'm thinking. And I think Bungie realized that they could not mesh the two games and one was going to have to give way to the other. And that the fact that all the content creators out there like to remind us that it's a PvE game, I think they need to separate PvP and PvE. Not take it out of the game, but they need to separate it where there's a fixed weapons, fixed loadout. I know. I love to grab a game in PvE. I love to grab a weapon in PvE and go see how it kills someone in PvP. But I think it would even the playing field in the Crucible. But I think it's needed, and I think I'm standing by this. Marathon is going to take over that part of Destiny. Marathon's going to take the PvP reins, and then Bungie can go crazy in Destiny. We can create super crazy, huge bosses and all kinds of flamboyant powers and space magic, right? Right now, everything they do in the game has to be very conservative because you have to always worry what's that gun or power going to do when it's facing another Guardian in the Crucible, right? So they're always having to balance that. They're always playing that balancing game. And I think once they separate the two, then Bungie can finally go crazy on Destiny and make an awesome just a crazy game. And they can finally let the floodgates open. But right now, I think they're tethered by the fact that it's tied to PvP.
You mean PvE, but yeah, no. Okay, that's definitely not what I thought you were gonna say. But I mean, I kind of agree that it should be more of a PvP focus to a degree, just to give it, I mean, I think it just not needs to be a priority, but at least there needs to be a new map at least once or twice a year. Probably twice a year would be ideal. But I think the low-hanging fruit immediately would just be fix the damn servers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something.
Like,
sorry,
I mean, Sweaty said last week is, this week maybe. It's all confusing to me. But how Sweaty was saying that he thought it was his computer because it kept saying contacting servers. I thought it was mine too.
Yeah.
Rodimus said something in our Discord. I just want to mention it here. What do you guys think of this idea? Rodimus and Rodimus is a smart guy. He comes up with some ideas sometimes. He thinks the reason the servers are going or getting weird is because they're slowly upgrading the Tiger engine for Marathon and whatever else is after Destiny. They're slowly making changes to the engine, and that's why it's throwing things off. What do you guys think?
No, I don't think so, man. And they kind of go into the stability issues with the TWID today. So
did they finally talk about it? I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah,
did they finally mention it to somebody?
They did. They got a wall of text about it, and it's not the most detailed, but it tells kind of what the root cause could be. I feel.
Well, I mean, just fundamentally speaking, if Marathon's going to have dedicated servers and none of the servers that run Destiny are going to be affected or even related, in just my opinion in that aspect.
That's true. But they are going to use the Tiger engine. They've already confirmed that. Matter is going to use the new engine. Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that one, honestly.
And nobody knows what it is.
There's thoughts, but out of curiosity, spin foil hat time.
Take my hand.
No, I don't know you that well. Um, what would you guys think about like if these server issues that we're having are because they're bringing dedicated servers to Destiny 2 because they're using the same engine for
Marathon.
Marathon with dedicated servers?
Don't tease me.
Well, if that were the case, it would explain why Bungie's keeping their cards close to their chest and behind the curtain right now and not saying a whole lot. Not to mention, might explain a lot of the fluctuations in terms of the connection experience as of late. Certainly, if they're doing some back end maintenance in the background and try and do switches, well, maybe let's try this cable instead of that cable type of analogy, I'll say. But I mean, it could make sense, but at the same time, I don't want to put my eggs in a basket because that would suck if comparatively speaking, that would just suck.
Well, I mean, it could just be complete, ineptitude. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'm assuming that Bungie knows halfway what they're doing.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
I think
Exactly.
I think if they were doing that in the background, they're gonna get a lot of flack for it. Like, so are you telling me like the bullshit you told me today in the twit is not real? Like, or is that just a cover up for something you're doing? Granted, we'd all be happy, but at the same time, it'd be like, where's that? You know what I mean? That trust factor, I guess.
Wait a minute.
No, I think that the stuff that they're to me, that's what I'm hoping happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it just makes sense to a degree because like what they're doing and what they said in the twit is this that it's just sort of like they think they know what it is and it's an architecture issue. So, if they fix the architecture, it could be something along the lines of, hey, here's, it's because we're moving to, dedicated servers, which would be the issue there.
Man, that would be so great. No more peer to peer. I'd love it.
We will see.
I thought all they were going to say was "we're listening." Know what they usually say?
They have a little backstory on it. So
They do. It's nothing too in depth, but it's. I was surprised they talked.
Did you see? You know how they always put that little highlighter there? It's always usually like a kitty picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this week it seems to be Luke Smith threatening Gatr in his sleep to invade.
Is he in his robe? Is he in his robe? His
He's
Jedi
holding
robe?
a lightsaber. I'll tell you that.
Ooh. I don't think he's released that ban yet.
I think he's still upset with you, Gatr.
Probably.
Unfortunately.
I swear it was a Jedi robe. I swear it was when I saw it.
I think we're going to jump into these last couple of questions before we hit the Wheel of Misfortune. We got one or two for each of you, and they're directed toward you. So starting with Gatr. Okay. If you were to pitch the idea of Destiny Online, I know that's something that you speak on, what does it encompass and how is it different from just continuing Destiny 2?
Well, Destiny Online, and I mentioned this, is that, come on. There was so much great gear in Destiny 1. The armor, the weapons, everything. It was, gosh, man, I remember going to the vendors at the tower, going to Dead Orbit and seeing what, it was like every couple weeks they had a new rifle in there. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this scout rifle. What do I need? 40 legendary shards? Oof. All right, I'll figure out how to get them because I want this gun before reset. And that's the magic, I think, and I still think they're going to do it, is they have all these assets they've already made. The artists already made them. And I don't think, I'm not a developer, but I think it would be much easier to port that to the Destiny 2 game or reformat it or whatever versus having an artist draw up the whole weapon again. So it makes sense that why not bring everything back as its final curtain call for Destiny and call it Destiny Online? You could get anything. My God. that one sniper rifle. See, I tell you, I can't remember any names of anything. I want to say the Cold Heart, but it's not the Cold Heart. The one that regenerates ammo. Yes. I want the icebreaker back.
Yeah. So does all of PvP. Yeah. That wouldn't be
No, they'll have it separated by then.
Sniper ammo.
They'll have it separated by then. But yeah, that's the reason why I think Destiny Online makes sense. I mean, from a business standpoint, they already have the assets. They've already created all those assets over the 4 years they made Destiny.
What was that weapon from Destiny 1 that was the D2 replacement was Crimson? But in D1
the Red
it was
Death?
the pulse rifles. Yeah,
you know how badly I want the Red Death back? I use a Red Death on everything in the game in Destiny 1. It was so smooth. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the M16 in Call of Duty. It had a nice tight grouping, very little recoil, but if you were accurate with it, it was powerful. So yeah, Red Death needs to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I would never put it down. If it came back to Destiny 2 or online or whatever, I would never use any other gun.
Well, maybe that's why they haven't brought it back.
Probably. Thanks, Luke Smith.
Choose your lightsaber. Red Death. No. I love it. So, I mean, hey, Gatr, let's go with this question as well. If you had to eliminate one game mode from the Crucible between Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris, or competitive, which one is being thrown out and why?
Man, that's like telling me to choose one of my favorite kids.
Right now.
Oh, dude.
Imagine this. We'll put a twist on it. Imagine that it's in order to buff another part of PvP. Like they need to reallocate resources.
You kill better the other two.
All right, that stings a little less. I would say, man, you can't get rid of Trials. Trials is iconic. There you go, Laz. Trials is iconic. I mean, that's what carried Destiny 1 when there was no content to play. I mean, I tuned in to True Vanguard, and I mean, I think Grenader Jake was out there. He was just getting started back then, but I used to tune into these guys and watch them play Trials while I was playing Trials.
Yeah.
Okay, if I have to get rid of one, I guess it's going to have to be Comp because I'm never getting rid of Iron Banner.
Mm-hmm.
Comp's a mess right now anyway. It's got a lot of work to do. There's no ladder. It's not ladder boards. It's not a true It's not a true competitive shooter game mode. So they just need to scrap it and either just keep Trials in as the competitive. But you can't get rid of Iron Banner. Too many people play that game. Their numbers go up when Iron Banner's in town.
Yeah. I mean, even the PvE mains end up going to play Iron Banner like the Infinity.
Yeah. It's chaos, and it can really get you. Sixes can get you so salty so quick because you're dealing with connections, you're dealing with peer-to-peer issues, getting shot around corners. You're using cover effectively, but you're still dying because their bullets curve around because the packets didn't get there in time. It's frustrating, but I tell you what makes Iron Banner the greatest is everybody that shows up to play it with me. Mm-hmm. For that reason alone, I tolerate all the other things in Iron Banner just to be able to BS with my friends in Iron Banner, whether it's in the community or in the clan or whatever. It's just so much fun. So that's my pick, I guess.
All right. Iron Banner is fun. It'd be hard to get rid of that.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do the next one, then you can take the last two, Sweaty. Hazel, when it comes to endgame and PvE, what would you like to see something more than? Would you like to see something more than just like raids and GMs? And if so, what kind of ideas do you have for adding to the endgame?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know about what else I'd like to see. I mean, I guess maybe open it up to like a 12-person raid. Give us like you know, 3 Oryx fights or something like this that we have to, coordinate and that kind of thing. I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen, but
Scale it to the fire team.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Something along those lines. I didn't get into it, but when it was bugged and you could get in like double the people and things like this, I mean, that was, that would have been fun. I think, like what was it, like 6-person strikes?
Hmm.
And so, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of would just be making it more fun, kind of
Yeah.
giving us that power fantasy back. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like this season that the power fantasy just isn't there for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Like the chase in general isn't there. Like I don't even feel motivated to play comp at all. Which is a shame because I think that if there was anything that Bungie did right by PvP, at least in the past 2 seasons since Lightfall, those emblems are beautiful.
Yep.
And I wish I had them. I genuinely wish I had them.
Yeah, I wish the same. I would love to have those too, but I know good and well that I am not good enough to get in there and get those emblems.
Mm.
You can be.
I certainly am not yet either because I don't have it.
I mean, I could be, but I mean,
Right?
is
Yes.
it worth my time and effort and energy to do that?
True.
Well,
to-
we'll actually get into that later.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I like the idea that like big raids, big 12-man type things, or
Mhm.
even if they had, like you see in some games how, if we're on, like say we're on Nessus or whatever, just roaming around, and like a stupid hardcore like public event, that requires damn near everybody on the planet, but there's some good loot involved and shit like that. You see that in other games, you know what I mean? Like just the public hard shit. That would be super fun. And like you'd be hitting up your buddies like, hey, hurry up, come get over here, join my fire team. There's 2 other fire teams here. Let's take out this huge boss or whatever. There's a chance at some kind of rare exotic or something like that. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I got a
exactly.
question. Why can't we have like 6 people in a party from your like in a public event in our public area?
Well,
Yeah, I was fishing last night and only 2 people could join me at a time. In fact, we had to rotate somebody in and out because 3 is all you can put in a fire team fishing.
Yeah.
now is that because
Interesting.
the peer-to-peer server
No,
can't
I just
handle
think
that
that's
many
the way
people?
it is. That's just the way it is when you're in the public, in a public area. I mean, just doing patrols and stuff. I think a fire team of 3 is the biggest you can get, isn't it? In a
I-
public
You
area,
can get 6, but
you can.
Well,
Okay, maybe
yeah,
I'm wrong
but-
then.
well, you have to. I mean, don't you remember that from back in the Mars days where we would have to? Oh, I never did it.
Oh,
but basically,
yes.
you had to like make a party with like some random person.
Yes, and you had to
in the
convince them.
envir- or in the area, and then you like basically either invite them or kick them. Basically,
Can you invite my friends for me? And then at the end, you say,
yeah.
"Can you go now?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Hey,
bud. We
I have one
appreciate
more
you.
friend. Can you leave so that way I
Yeah.
can get him in?
So yeah, you could do it that way.
Yeah, that's a great experience for the community.
Oh, that was a community builder there.
All right, last question here, Hazel.
And
You-
it's a banger.
I know you love your PvE side stuff and your end game stuff, but there's only one thing that like I feel like you don't dabble in, and that's bounty. So what could Bungie do to make you do bounties? Like what could they change about the system or the rewards or the difficulty, perhaps, that would make you actually do some bounties?
I think if they gave them to me automatically,
What?
like if you remember in like D2 Vanilla Gatr, they didn't have bounties. Whenever you spawned into an area, you were
Yeah.
given like these little like
Challenges.
missions, and it was like, hey, they were bounties. I'll be brutally honest about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to go out of my way to collect them and do some random BS for something like that.
Yeah.
It was just, hey, I spawn into an area and it says, hey, kill 25 enemies. Hey, you know what? I'm around. I'll just go ahead and I'll do that because I'm doing that anyway.
Mhm.
and it was tailored to your area. So whatever area you were in, it was saying, hey, collect 10, you know, 10 Seraphite or whatever. It was just like, hey, there we go.
Can I answer that question?
Help yourself.
What can be done to make Hazel play bounties besides what they're doing right now, where it's saying, hey, you want to increase your guardian rank? Do bounties.
No, that wasn't going to be my answer. No, all you have to do is what the gunsmith's already doing right now. Give you reputation to gunsmith as you complete bounties, 50. And listen, and give me an enhancement core when I complete it. I'll do those every day, all of them, all at once.
Do you know how many enhancement cores I'm sitting on right now?
Wouldn't you want more though? Why not worry about how many you have in your inventory when you can always have more?
Why?
It's all about
Why do
more.
I need them? I have 500 of them, and I don't even.
I have
use them.
1,300 of them. I always need more.
For what?
Yeah, well, my zipper's bigger.
I'm just saying everything requires enhancement cores. If you want prisms, what do you got to spend? A ton of enhancement cores.
Nothing.
If you want ascendant shards, you got to have a bunch of ascendant prism or enhancement prisms.
There's a thing
The only
that
thing-
says GM, and you can get prisms and shards from those. And it's easier than going like, hey, I need to farm and get enhancement cores and things like this.
Run GMs. Pinky in the air.
You also get
I have an
the
idea.
master.
What if we combine both of your guys' answer in a very Diablo 4 style where, like, you know how you can get those caches in Diablo 4 and whenever
haven't
you
played
open
it.
them up, I'll explain it to you here in a second.
Okay.
I think Hazel knows where I'm going with this, maybe. But in Diablo 4, there's open world. So I guess in comparison to Destiny 2, Destiny 2 has the public events, right? In Diablo 4, it's kind of approached the similar way. You're in the open world and an event comes up. Once you complete certain events that have like a red icon, you fill up this progression bar. Once that progression bar is complete, you get what's called a cache as a reward, which is an assortment of rewards, which could basically range anywhere from precious materials that are required in order to upgrade your stuff, all the way to exotic weapons. If it's an exotic weapon that you don't want, one fun thing about Diablo is you can always recycle it for materials that you can reuse again. But that's not the point. The point is the cache. What if, Hazel, you, let's say, accomplished 3 bounties and it was just to kill X amount of enemies on the moon? Nothing, no specific weapon, just kill X amount of enemies. Elites will increase your, I guess, progression. Once you've completed that bar, then you turn it in and it gives you like your own personal inventory chest. And then you open it up whenever you want. You could collect them if you want to. You could farm them and then just pop them all at once and then get all of these materials and weapons and everything else that you may need, especially during a time that, who knows, maybe you're trying out new builds and you end up broke because mats become expensive when you're trying new builds.
So I'm okay with that. I like that to a degree.
Mhm.
My issue though, and now Gatr, this is the part where Gatr just throws down his mic and just leaves. Is what are the rewards? In exotic, sure, I'm okay with that. Maybe like 1 in 10, 1 in 15 caches, something like that. Legendary shards, sure. Ascendant shard, no way. Nope. There better not be one in there. Yeah, I'll put my damn pinky in the air.
What
I
about
mean, it's in-game materials. Why?
It's a building material like
what
everything
have you
else, Hazel.
done to earn it?
It's a building material like everything else.
You haven't earned it.
what about a grandmaster bounty? Like bounties for grandmasters specifically. Like you have to complete these
For all the
within
elitists.
grandmasters.
Pinky in
Yeah.
And perhaps it'll add additional rewards at your final chest or something like that if you complete it during.
That'd be great. See,
That's
but
just like
see,
dungeon. It's like what night was it? The keys you got doing Nightfalls in Destiny 1.
yeah,
those are kinda
skeleton
cool.
Keys.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd be all for that because you're doing something to me that's like worth the reward.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the way
Gator
I
just
see
wants
it
to
playing
go around
into
and
the
collect
way I
stuff.
see it playing into, and here's the thing, but here's what I think the problem is currently, and this is maybe even to boost your channel too, Gator, because maybe this could be an idea you could throw out there. Maybe it works some days. Who knows? I think it goes into the bigger game loop picture. If you're doing bounties and you're getting XP, yes, number goes up. Season rewards are received. But after 100, no more season rewards. It's just number go up. So, in the idea of this cache, again, you could dismantle your weapons if they're no good to you, and if you have no interest in them, perhaps it gives you a drop that you're interested in, which is always a good bonus. But if not, then you're getting the mats that you need in order to keep testing out these builds. The armor that we're dropping, certainly in the game loop now that they've included with the focusing of exotic armor pieces, which
Mhm.
goes into the game loop of craft building. So I guess what I'm trying to do is look at how it's disconnected with the system that we currently have, how we could incorporate it and be provided maybe some sort of motivation in order to do them. That's just my thought. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I love the idea personally. I love the idea of the cash system. And then, you know, you can get them, I mean, you can pop them whenever you want. I mean,
Mhm.
and you know, I think there should be like a baseline, like you know, you get maybe 4,000 glimmer or 5,000 glimmer per one, and I mean, minimum is 5,000 glimmer and maybe like 25 legendary shards and that, and like two weapons, and you know, I mean, make it like a public event kind of thing.
And I like that that Diablo analogy of where the bar fills up as you kill more enemies. That gets me wanting to go play Diablo 4.
Yeah.
But man, that's a great idea. I gotta
And the
admit.
reason I like it is because, like, say you kill that particular area group of ads. That bar's
Mhm.
not filled yet, Gator. You still got to go find some more ads in that area,
Mhm.
complete more bounties in order to, and, you know, the game loop of getting your XP of the original idea why you like them to begin with can still be there as well. We're just compounding on top of it to give you even more motivation to do that.
A great idea, Sweaty. I mean, I think Diablo 4 has got some great ideas that Bungie should be perking up and listening to. Or maybe they're already in the plans for whatever comes past the Light and Dark saga. Maybe. But they should definitely look at that game because even though it's a top-down game, the
Mhm.
concept is very much the same as Destiny. It's all
And
about
it,
loot.
yeah, exactly. It's a loot game. So I mean their mechanics in place are supposed to be rewarding around game loop in order for you to progress further, which is why they have like a never-ending progression of difficulty. It's a never-ending challenge. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Gator, what would you think about Native's idea about a bounty that, you know, if you'd like kill all the champions in the, or finish all the champions in a GM for double rewards?
I always try to get platinum rewards when I'm doing a GM. I make sure we kill all the champions, right? We never skip any of them.
So, I mean, but that's the thing though, is what if there's a bounty that's like that? So it's like, you know, kill all of them for double rewards, and if it's double reward weekend, you get quadruple rewards. Would you do it?
Hell yeah, do
Did you
it.
hear Native just goes,
Let's go.
"Mm,
I'm ready.
oh yeah,
Hell yeah,
that's
do
the
it.
stuff."
Anytime you're going to add more bounties in the game, I'm all in, man.
What?
Even if I don't even have to pick them up, if they're automatic, I'm even more in.
What's with the bounty is sidearms only? GM.
I'm in.
There it is.
Obvious.
I'll be right back. Let me go get my sidearm.
So you would do it then?
I would,
Do
absolutely.
GMs more then?
I would play GMs more knowing there's quadruple loot on certain weeks. It Destiny is a looter shooter. It's a looter shooter. It's all about what's the reward for whatever time I got to put in this game. What are you giving me, Bungie? What am I getting? I love the fishing, by the way, because all those blues and greens you catch that are like worthless, you turn them all in. It gives you XP toward the vendor. I love it.
Yeah.
It's giving me loot for whatever even if I'm sitting there about to go cross-eyed from looking at my bobber in the Nessus in that radial area. My eyes were going nuts last night trying to keep an eye on the bobber. Then you got people throwing over you and like, hey, dude, stay in your area, will you? Don't look down
Cross
over
my
I
lines.
can't see my bobber.
Get off my line.
It's they're getting there, but I've heard a lot of good things about Diablo. All right, Diablo 4. But I've heard a lot of good ideas, and it definitely should cross over. Bungie should definitely be listening.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they're just listening. I think they're actually playing it, if I'm being real with you, Gatr, just because, they're people as well, right?
Absolutely.
Not only
They're
that,
gamers.
but they also have relations with that studio. And I'm sure a lot of those folks that work there are probably their personal friends as well. So
Makes sense.
I would think that I said this, I pitched this last week to Bell, but I said that ultimately, whether we know it or not, we don't. This is just purely suspicion on my end. I'm not making really any claims, but I think currently what we're going through is a bit of an observation period at the moment. But that's just, kind of just my opinion. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense. They haven't said anything really to address any of the issues. There's no power climb. So I think they're kind of letting to see what happens,
And I don't think they're going to release their most banger season during a Diablo 4 release. Now, I'm not saying that they made a tactical business decision due to Diablo 4 release, but I'm saying that they probably took a look at their timeline at the time that they were planning and creating the season and everything like that, and just try to make a call with the information that they had at that time, and probably decided that this may be one of the better seasons to probably just observe, give them something to do. But again, entirely speculation on my end. I have nothing supporting that. No
Me
evidence
and Hazel
whatsoever.
had this argument last week, Sweaty.
Gator's got the succession mindset. All bangers, all the time.
Dude, Bungie is a studio, and they want you logging in every day, hence the FOMO. And the days you're not logging in, you're not looking at Eververse. I mean, I hate to be that ruthless about it, but they want you logging in every day. They don't want you playing Diablo. They don't want you playing that game. They want you playing whatever fishing or what's going on in the season. And honestly, in my opinion, Season of the Deep was a banger for me. I love Season of the Deep. Now, the season before, no, not so much. I wasn't very enthused with the first season. So the second season, I'm really happy with Season of the Deep. That dungeon is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, Trash Panda took me through it the first time. And that's a class dude, by the way. He is a really great Sherpa. And he was so patient with me. We were at the final boss. And, dude, those are memories I'll never forget. That was such a great dungeon, man.
I need to do it still. It's such a PvP
You and me both,
show.
man.
Come on, man. What are we waiting for here,
It's got good loot. It really does.
It does. Everything is good.
Oh, hold up now. We got a Titan, we got a Hunter, we got a Warlock, we got a Judge.
I don't know. Am I allowed to use my Warlock, Mom? Can I use my Warlock?
Absolutely. No, I'm just teasing you. At a good sport,
I really feel bad. I missed the Tuesday, guys.
Oh,
I can tell you about all my internet woes. I had to actually fire my last company and hire another one. I was so fed up with this company. My internet went down on Monday, and I have fiber. It's just like 1,000 up and 1,000 down. I'm just loving it. But the company said I was on the line with them. Sorry, I'm not trying to take away from the conversation here.
You're good.
I was on the line with them for they don't have a call-in line. You can only chat with them. So I chatted with this person, and granted, she was she did everything she could to try to fix the problem. And an hour later, she goes, well, there's nothing else we can do on our end. We're going to have to send a tech out to you. We're going to put you on the priority list, so keep your phone nearby. I brought the phone to my bedside. I thought they were going to call me that morning with a tech outside the door, rapping on the door. I get a text message. It says, you're very much a priority for us. We can get to you on July 5th. I'm like, dude, July 5th? Are you serious? You're kidding me, right? Am I getting punked right now? Where's the cameras? And that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. So I called their competitor, and I'm on that internet right now as we speak. But yeah, what were we talking about again? Shit, sorry,
You get-
sorry. I'll go down a rabbit hole.
It was a good time though, and we'll definitely do that event again. Because
I was so
fun,
bummed, man.
It was fun.
I love playing PvP, and I wanted to game with you guys. I did.
Yeah, it was cool. It was interesting.
Yeah,
I did win the Titan round though. Let's go.
Gatr. Let's do this. Why don't we do an Iron Banner run sometime?
yes,
You like Iron Banner. We love Iron Banner. Why don't we do that
Yes.
sometime? That'd be great.
absolutely.
Bring Roarcry with you. Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I'm like three steps back, and I'm tripping on his. He's like right on my back. He's like trying to snipe all my kills.
Have you met my friend Raider?
Hey, that's called smart in the Crucible. It's like, hey, let the guy in front of me do all the work, right? I'll clean it up and get the credit.
Right.
Yeah, we work together pretty well, I have to say,
that-
actually.
Is that happening comp? Is that what you're saying? Is that where you're taking that from?
Yeah, a little bit. I'll go
yeah.
in with the double
Smart
tap
man.
with a hand cannon, dip out, let him clean it up, and then vice versa. We'll kind of tag team in and out and just,
Yep.
confuse everybody.
That's a smart gentleman. You got to play like a chessboard.
All right. Shall we get to the will before we take our first break?
The wheel. What's this wheel about?
It's a little wheel. A little wheel. No big deal.
Sure.
It's a no big deal wheel.
Sounds like a big deal.
A little bit of a big deal.
The no big deal wheel. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for the wheel of misfortune. How does it work? Well, every item on the wheel is a single item stored within your vault, but restricted to weapons. Once we spin the wheel, whichever weapon it lands on gets instantly deleted from your vault forever.
Wait a minute. What did I sign up for?
Which are you
What?
wanting to protect the most? You can only save one. Some assembly may be required. Exotics are not going to be considered because you can pull them from your collections.
I love it.
What did I sign up for? I didn't know this was going to happen.
I call this Ninja Dado.
Oh my God. We have to seriously delete the item? Okay.
You have to. You have
Okay.
to. I'm going to
Okay.
force you.
All right. Fine.
Hey, so it's just the weapons in our vault, correct?
That is correct.
Oh,
Because
Hazel's gonna
what we're
cheat.
going to do is use dim. And dim, there's a tool in it where it allows us to randomize weapons only. And boom, you'll have 3 random weapons from your vault. And what we'll do is roll a 3-sided dice. 1, 2, or 3. 1 kinetic, 2 power, 3 heavy. And we'll pick our victim.
Looking at dim right now. My vault is 599 of 600.
Before we get into
hoarder.
that, before we
How
get
are you
into
going to know
that,
what's in my vault?
Because dim.
what is one that you guys would absolutely protect that you do not want to get deleted? Like
Why
one,
would I tell you that?
whether it's a story or something like that, you're gonna put a Titan barricade in front of it, maybe a bubble even, and it's protected from this. What are you
Is this
protecting?
Okay, so this is like a free square. No one can touch this weapon.
There you go.
Correct.
Okay, that's easy for me. It's gonna be my blast furnace in the vault. It's gonna be my blast furnace
Okay.
from the
okay.
Forge season of the Forge. I have
Yep.
3 of them. The aggressive pulse rifle from season of the Forge.
Okay.
Okay, so RNG generator is up. Rolling the dice right quick just to see what we're supposed to be got. Okay, yeah, it's going to be energy slot number 2. So, dim. I'm going to click on my emblem where it has Hunter. It gives me a drop-down menu. If I scroll to the very bottom here, bottom right corner, weapons only, click that, and let's see what we get. Randomize. Oh, no. Okay, thank God it's not kinetic.
There's all your hand cannons.
Yeah, that's my Fatebringer explosive payload kill clip. Glad that didn't get deleted, but what did get deleted is a Fugue 55. Let's see, that's a sniper. It's going to be a void sniper, adaptive frame. So same as like Adored as an example. This is going to be one of the newer ones with the Suros body frame. This is a range masterwork, chamber compensator, meh. Steady rounds, meh. 4 times the charm, okay. Moving target, that sounds like a King's Fall sniper to me. Not bad. King's Fall sniper. outside of that, I'd probably am pretty happy to delete this if I'm being honest. No problem.
Wait a minute. You said it's kinetic or energy slot?
I rolled the dice, and that would be a number 2 for energy. So that's why I
must be an
deleted my
energy weapon.
my void sniper.
Oh, okay.
I got Turbo. I just put it out there. It's too easy to delete that shit.
Haha, finally, and kill another one.
Terrible, but you can get Terrible back.
Exactly. Just
Yeah, well,
reset
at least
my
I can have the
Crucible
satisfaction
opponents.
of killing it.
Mm. So it could be any energy weapon.
No, you click on your hunter or warlock. Are you in dim right now?
Yes.
Okay, click the 3 dots, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and the last one says randomize loadout. Just click the weapons only button.
Wait a minute. Pull to. Wait a minute. No. Oh, I got to be on a character, right? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, click the.
All right, I'm on my warlock. Go away the bottom, 3 dots. 3 dots like up in the search menu?
3 dots next to the character.
You could just click on the emblem itself.
Oh, gotcha.
Drop down there.
Randomized loadout. Weapons only. Here we go.
Let's see.
So were you guys playing the same game of how do we get people in here? So there's permission somewhere we have to give them.
Is that Parody? Oh, it's Night Demon. Parody. Guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'll pause right now. What's up, guys? How you been? All right, fine.
It's International Thursday Let's Record a Destiny podcast night. Did you guys not get the cards that Bungie sent out and said everyone record your Destiny podcast tonight?
Everybody.
There it is.
You know what? We took it one step further. We even recorded one on Tuesday.
Ooh. Overachievers.
Okay. So it has to be the very first thing that's in my slot.
That's on your character.
I don't. In other words, I can't pick from the pool of items, right?
No.
Oh man,
Whenever
this
you
hurts,
click on-
man.
Whenever you click on randomized weapons, it will give you a random weapon.
Oh my god, man! I got to get rid of the iterative loop.
It's why
Fusion
it's
rifle?
the wheel of misfortune, not the wheel of your
Bye-bye.
choosing.
All right, I got an iterative loop. It's not crafted yet. It has fluted barrel, enhanced battery, grave robber, adrenaline junkie, and nanotech tracer rockets, of course. So I got to get rid of this, right? Okay.
Guess a goodbye. Bye, friends.
Okay.
Do.
I don't even know how to.
Now you're at
Oh, wait.
598. Look at that. You are getting cleaned out.
What the hell? I'm at 596. How'd that happen?
Oh shit.
If there's vault cleaning going on, Night Demon might run the other direction awfully quick.
Yeah, I'm just scaring the hell out of me here.
Can you guys actually see my dim?
It's okay. They didn't get the rules, guys. We'll read it to them in a minute.
We're not joining the parody. It's a trap. Let's go.
Burn it all down. No, let's go. I'm ready to burn it all down.
Wait a minute.
All right.
But how am I supposed to get rid of it? I'm not in game right now.
Well, you'll delete it when you get in game.
Fine.
Mark it as junk.
It-
Mark
yeah,
it as
it'll,
junk, yes.
it'll be on your character. Yeah.
Fine.
Take the Sharpie on your screen and draw a big frowny face right over it so you'll remember.
I don't like this game.
Yep, right on your screen, the big frowny face.
That's how it works. I'll make the rules.
All right. Done. Who's next?
All right. So
I guess it's me.
a slight quick interruption. We are going to give Parody and Night Demon the rules right quick. So first and foremost, you don't actually have to delete anything there, fellas. But the reason we do this is to produce a little bit of story. As PvP mains, we tend to have a little bit of attraction to some of our weapons. Sometimes it pulls a story. So that's why we like to randomize and pull a random weapon from your vault. Sometimes it's just a junk weapon. Sometimes you really worked hard for said weapon. Now, before we randomize, you are given the ability to save one legendary weapon. We do not consider exotics because you can pull them for your collections. And typically, yeah, we like to ask you which weapon you'd like to save before we pull. If there's any, sometimes there's not. And then, yeah, we just pull from your vault and take a look at a random weapon. In this case, it's a challenge to delete it, Night Demon. All right. Sorry there, Hazel Giver.
I okay. So, truth be told, I went through my vault like after or during Lightfall, and I kind of got rid of most of the stuff that Dim didn't give me the thumbs up on. So, unfortunately, in doing that, this is a Forge's Pledge pulse rifle
Ooh.
Iron Banner.
with arrowhead brake, flared magwell, tunnel vision, and rampage.
Hmm.
What's the
What's
mess
your
work on
recoil
it?
direction?
Recoil direction is well, it's got a range masterwork, by the way,
Ooh.
Hmm.
and the recoil direction is 81.
Mm.
But I mean, I can always throw a. I don't even have a mod on it.
If you put a counterbalance mod, it's 100.
Dude,
That's
you fared
disgusting.
worse than I did.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that actually recoil direction would be 96.
Oh yes, yes,
Close
yes,
enough.
yes.
It's close enough.
Yep.
You won't feel
Well,
the difference.
I mean, it's straight up and down because it's
It's in the
Super
90s.
5. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've never used it though, so I will go ahead and just mark it as junk. And Gatr looks distraught by this.
I'm fine. Nothing to see here. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Rub some
So-
dirt in it.
Yeah. So, all right. I have marked it as junk. So I will go ahead and delete that on my Titan next time I log in.
There you go. Oh, wait. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a knock at the door, and who did we welcome into the lounge but Night Demon and Parody from Two Titans and a Hunter show?
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello,
You came
hello.
in at the perfect time.
Well, yeah, at the end, so that I don't have to delete anything, I guess. So
What
that's
what
good.
are we having Night Demon delete? No, I think we can find one thing. I believe in us.
All right, I deleted one thing. You know what? I'll do this. I'll delete another. So I'm going to go into dim right now, and
Okay. I'll do it
I'm
too.
gonna, I'm going to click on my
I'm not
emblem
gonna
for
do
my
it.
character, and it gives me a drop-down menu. Whenever I scroll to the bottom, I see randomized loadout, but I'm not going to click it. To the right is weapons only. That I am going to click. So I'll click it now. Randomize. Boom. Now that I've been given 3 weapons, I need to narrow it down further by rolling a 3-sided dice. So 1, 2, 3, and we have a number 3. So that means heavy's getting deleted this time. And for me, it is a memory interdict void grenade launcher with impulse amplifier and chain reaction.
That's gonna hurt.
Oh, that would have been such a
Ouch.
good one for
That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
PvP, but you know what? Sometimes Ninja Dado comes into your vault and blesses by
You know what?
deleting things.
I've got no issue with this game. It's just given me something I would have deleted anyway. So there you go. There's my one done.
All right. What did you get, Night Demon?
Oh, I got Until Its Return shotgun in the primary. I got a first in, last out shotgun in secondary, and then a Reach Regret in the heavy slot.
Mm.
So I'm quite
Okay.
happy to get rid of the top one because it's a craftable weapon. So
How about that Reed's regret though?
what about it?
He's got
So we
16
rolled
more. He'll be
we
fine.
rolled a we rolled a 3-sided dice to narrow down which one was supposed to be the deleted selected weapon, which would have been a 3 in this case, which is
Right.
heavy.
Yeah, you can have that as well.
Well-
I don't care.
Welcome to the show,
I was
Night
gonna say, I
Demon.
think we just lost Night Demon.
No, that's fine. You can have
No,
it.
we didn't upset him yet. So we're good. We're doing good. We're not going to push it. We're good.
Yeah, we're not doing several rounds of this, are we? We're just doing one round of.
No.
Well, just for Night
Right.
Demon. No, just kidding.
Well, thank you for inviting us anyway, guys. It's been fun. Thank you. Goodbye.
Parody, you're next, sir.
Where was the random? I see all the random roll random things. Which thing am I looking for?
Bottom of the
Okay.
list, it says random loadout, and then if you scroll over to the right, it says weapons only.
Yeah, on your character, You got to pick a character. There's 3 dots next to your character banner.
Gotcha. Okay.
Click that all the way at the bottom.
Weapons
Randomize
only.
loadout and just make sure it says weapons only.
Let's go. Let's throw some things on the hunter where there's room.
And let's roll the dice. I got a number 2 for you, Parody.
All right. So let's see. So my Lingering Dread is going to be safe here in the primary slot.
Mm-hmm.
The Marcelon Sea Grenade Launcher, I don't know what it is, safe in the heavy slot. So we are saying goodbye to the Wizened Rebuke with Skulking Wolf, Backup Plan, Offhand Strike, and Liquid Coils.
Ooh, backup plan.
Liquid Coils, though, extends that already really long charge time, so that's not so much a loss.
No,
I'm glad I didn't play that round.
It's never been used, and it's been sitting in the vault with its other 2 or 3 or 4 friends. So.
Winning.
Perfect.
This is how all us hoarders can clean our vaults out. We'll just go for several rounds, like we'll just keep spinning the revolver, right?
It's
in the
like
chamber?
that game when you go camping and there's one drunken fool that brings an arrow and a bow and just shoots in the air and says, "Uh-oh."
I didn't catch it.
Definitely an American thing that doesn't happen over here. At all.
And he's not here tonight, so we're good.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
I'm glad I didn't play that round too, Gatr. Mine was the BXR that I have that has snapshot sights, accurized rounds, arrowhead break, and kill clip.
Ooh.
You know what mine was? A Mindbender's Ambition. Rampage. It's pulse accurized rounds, Rampage, pulse monitor. It had full choke though.
That's fine if it were like.
That's not
3
too
years
bad,
ago.
Gatr. That's not too bad, actually. I mean, of course, you would prefer to have like something like opening shot over Rampage on a shotgun, but everything else. What's your masterwork?
It had masterworked.
If it's handling, don't throw it out.
It's masterwork range.
Range. Okay, range is very good as well. Do not throw that out.
It's a shitty shotgun, anyways, bro. I got like a Gatr one, and I can't hit
All right,
nothing with
I'm
it.
deleting it. I'm playing along.
There you go.
I'm deleting it. Marking his junk.
Look at that. BBL peer pressure.
Hazel's rubbing
Blueberry
off on me.
I have one of those mind benders that I will never delete. Let me see. Where is it? Right quick.
Boy, don't get Emerald Nips in here.
Mind benders.
Don't tell Dim that. Don't tell Dim that. Dim will be like, oh, this ID right here. That's the one you want to keep. No.
Poof.
I will never delete this shotgun. The reason for that is because I farmed for the adept version, and it was the exact same roll that I had on the non-adept that I like so much. And I put 700 crucible kills on the non-adept version. I had to start over again, of course, so that number's not so high. It's at 277 on the adept version, but this is a range masterwork. This one's even better because it's got like all of the god rolls in terms of both perk sets. I could either go corkscrew rifling or full choke. This particular one, accurized rounds, threat detector, and then steady hands. Now, steady hands, I know that sounds kind of funny, but whenever you pair that with, I don't know, I guess in my case, a hand cannon, easy swapping, it certainly with an ace of spades, I don't know. There's something to be said about steady hands. I think more people should try different weapons with that perk on it. Different combination sets. So if you happen to see it, try it before you delete it, because on a shotgun, it is very gratifying to have instant handling at all the way up to 100. But anyways, moving on.
It's a shitty shotgun. No matter the roll.
I think he says that to everybody.
No.
So we'll delete it.
I got one that's got range. I put an adept range mod on it. It's a the adept version, and fragile focus and all the good shit, all the things to make it super rangy, and I could be point blank and nothing. So I don't, maybe it's got too much range that it like reset to where it has 0 range. I don't know, man, but I can't stand that shotgun.
Why use a shotgun when you have a sidearm?
I've been using fusions. I've been getting used to the fusions. Pretty nice.
They let me down so many times, Native.
Me too.
I as well have been getting used to the fusions, to the point where the other day in our private match, I think I got Fluffy one time. I don't know if it was Fluffy or if it was somebody else, but somebody else was crossing the map. We were on Endless Veil, think it was. That's where toilet is, correct? So
Yeah.
we were on that map, and somebody was crossing in the air to my right, and I mapped him in the air, and I couldn't believe it because I actually had to track him in the air in order for each bolt to actually hit him.
Yeah, that was me. You son of a
that was
bitch.
you?
Yeah, that
Okay,
was me.
yeah.
That's why he's trying to get everybody to delete their shotguns, right? Or no,
Yeah.
you're talking about the fusion, right? Sorry.
Yeah, Fluffy was there, and he's like, I seen that. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was a very gratifying moment because I should not have hit that.
No, you shouldn't have.
But it was a skill shot, all right?
That
So
was
this
good.
randomizing weapons and deleting weapons, is this a game that you kind of play quite regularly, or?
Yeah, this is a segment of our show that we've been doing ever since Raider joined that we call Wheel of Misfortune.
Ah,
Fun game.
Mm-hmm.
not so
It
much.
is like I will never be back.
That's why we've had no repeat guests.
Known that we were coming in on this segment, then we'd have avoided this one.
It was perfect.
Night
Well,
Demon's like me.
Night
He won't get
Demon,
rid of it.
I'll put it to you this way. You'll never forget. However, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, with that being said, we are going to take a short break. And whenever we get back, we're going to do a small and slight introduction to Two Titans and a Hunter. And then we are going to dive right into the show topic being the current state and the future of Destiny 2 PvP. Right after this.
1.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Coming back to the show. And you know what? We love you guys so much. The listener, that we're going to give you a part 2. A part 2 of what, Sweaty? Part 2 of what? Part 2 of an interview. Because why not? We got 2 Titans and a Hunter on deck. And we got a couple of questions. So, you know what? Let's start with this. Night Demon,
Yes.
Parody. You guys are well known from the community, and our typical legacy questions have probably never been answered by you a million times. So let's switch things up by going with this. Tell the listeners a brief description of who you are and what you're all about to include your podcast.
I'm Parody, and I was dragged into doing a podcast with Night Demon over there. And he brought along Respawn, who shouts a lot, and we discussed Destiny, and just Destiny, and all about Destiny.
And I'm Night Demon, and I love playing a Titan more than anything on Earth.
Let's
And I decided
go.
that this needed to be a podcast because I started raiding with these silly Americans, and I was like, listen, we can do this better. We can do this Britisher. We can make this happen. So we did. And we said, we're adults. No one can stop us. No one's going to tell us not to do a podcast. So here we are.
We kept asking Night Demon all the questions, so he said, I'm just going to do a podcast and answer all the questions.
Truly. Back in the band days, band
Yes.
BAND, before we were even on Discord. It was Night Demon answers all the questions you have about Destiny. So he's like, I might as well bring this into a formal thing versus just texting, sending you text answers back and forth.
That's awesome. So let's go with this too. Since you guys have been friends and co-hosts for so long, and this is always interesting, mixing it up here. Describe your counterpart using only 3 words and elaborate the reasons why.
So Night Demon, do we answer in the same way we did while the secret recording was happening, or do we keep it the same so they can enjoy 2 versions in the editing process?
I was just going to go with what I said in the secret version.
Ooh, go ahead.
What was it? It was dependable. My friend and fun.
And I'll go with something different than the secret version and just say absolutely relentless, knowledgeable, and a hoarder. And I mean hoarder and I do mean hoarder in the nicest way possible. Because you're thinking, oh, there's no way he has a version of this, version 1 armor with this perk set in it. No, he absolutely does. He can find you the thing and reference it because he has one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Only sometimes.
Well, hopefully we helped you out a little bit before we went to break with the wheel. If you want to roll again, we can. I mean, it's up to you, man. All the time in the world.
No. I'm fine with being 593 in the vault at the moment. You just leave me alone.
Okay.
We do need Bungie to tell us, though, and I'll put the plea out here. Bungie, which class did the best during the Guardian Games in class-based supremacy? Because we have a bet going between Night Demon and Respawn, but we need an answer of which class prevailed, because there's another item in the vault at stake to be deleted, chosen by the winner of the bet. But Bungie has to tell us. We need the info, Bungie. Come on.
See, I think you guys already kind of hit on this a little bit, but with the band thing. But why Destiny? Why do you guys want to podcast about Destiny? You can podcast about shit, anything, right? Anything in the world. I mean, there's a podcast for it. Why Destiny?
Well, I think at the time, I think the same reason that Gatr was saying that he started his, that there were a lot of podcasts that were shutting down, that were Destiny podcasts that I listened to, that I really enjoyed. There was Guardian Radio, which was the main one that was shutting down. There was Crucible Radio as well. I think they were slowly coming to an end. The Destiny Reset suddenly kind of just stopped. And I was like, I like listening to podcasts, and these guys were really informative. Why not, continue that and just do a podcast? And I asked the 2 craziest members of our clan that wouldn't say no to come and join.
That's awesome.
And,
You don't disappoint British Dad. You don't do it.
But it was. It was. I mean, being in the clan, it was like there was constant questions of how do we go through this raid? What do we do with this mechanic? What?
Mm.
And I was constantly pointing people in the direction of go and watch this video by MTash. Go and watch this one by Fallout. This one will tell you shotgun cones. This one will tell you how to do this encounter and things like that. And I was thinking, why not just turn that into a podcast and say, these guys know what they're talking about. I've watched this video. This is broke it down slightly and said go and watch this for the full description. And then we kind of elaborated that over time. We would go into descriptions about how to play Crimson Days when that was a thing, how to do the solstice events and anything that was kind of coming up. And I would constantly keep notes over the years of all the different things. I know Bungie would slightly change it over the years, but we would kind of go back over those and say, right, this is what was available last year. Bungie have a history of changing it, so look out for this, this, and this. And sometimes we'd get it right, sometimes we wouldn't. But it's just, yeah, and it's just been ever evolving since.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree any more with that for sure. I mean, I know one of those experiences for Hazel as a viewer first and a listener first, even before sitting in this seat where I'm at now as a podcaster or even a content creator in general. Excuse me. Little memory going back to D1. Now, I'm probably going to get the name of the raid wrong, and that's okay. I am happy to get that wrong and to be corrected, but I think it's Crota. Was that the one that you had a lot of Sherpas on? I think it was.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah, I
Below.
did it 100 times. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
So, I mean, I would equate that type of experience. I mean, I remember you speaking to that experience one time, typically as like one of your more favorite experiences, and maybe one of the more cementing purposes as to what pushed you further into leading up to where we are today, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, actually, I Sherped another 2 people through it just like this past weekend. It was Mr. Monkey and Metal Mark.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, their first Crota raids, and I was just like, okay, well, don't blink, you'll miss it. So,
And I know another one of those moments, if I'm not mistaken, for Gatr is even just that absolute very first moment of taking that first step out of the ship on top of all the rusty cars, just looking out across the environment and like taking those first few steps, really exploring the environment and just really taking in what Bungie had to offer. I know he spoke to that experience. Something that, and leading up to that experience, even before that, was even just watching some of the trailers, being involved with some of the hype, and then again to go back to that experience with that favorite image that he always has in the front of his mind. So, I mean, that impacting moment has led to Gatr where he's at today as a podcaster, as a content creator, as a YouTuber. And I would even say the same for myself. Whenever I started content creation, I started on a different video game called Curse, but you know what? I did not enjoy my time there. It had nothing to do with the game. It's just that it wasn't Destiny. And at the time, the reason I started on Cursed and starting as a content creator is because you have to look at the catalog of what you're going up against. And I didn't believe in myself. I was kind of hoping to put some success in there at some measure. So I went with Cursed, and then I learned all of my lessons there. Fantastic lessons, by the way. Then I came to Destiny, and it's been fantastic. I've been enjoying my time, and because I've been enjoying my time, I've been able to make better content, and because I'm enjoying my time making better content, well, the viewership is a hell of a lot better. So, and not only that, but the thing that I think that I really like about this game entirely is like, and I've always said it, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record every time I say it, but it's a community, 100%. I mean, heck, even this table here.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We got to make it sound nice now because it's not going to sound nice once in a few moments, okay?
build us up to tear us down later. I love it.
You know how it is.
Speaking of
Calm
which,
before the storm.
let's get into this show topic because I think there's a lot to unpack here, and I think it's going to be a good conversation with
So
everybody.
the future of PvP. I mean, how heated could that get?
Yeah, just don't look on Twitter, I guess, right?
Yeah, or YouTube, or anywhere.
Reddit.
Internet.
That's it.
What's
Yes.
There it is. What's Reddit? So for the first thing we're going to talk about here is the hot and kind of relative topic in the D2 community, especially on YouTube, and that was excuse me, Glad. He put out a video, and it was titled "The Truth That Destiny 2 Players Don't Want to Hear," and it was about 11 minutes long. A rant in a sense, but he also had some valid points that I can agree with, and some of the shit that I was just like, man, that's a little much. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of just talk about this, and then after that, we'll get into True Vanguard's response that he did. That was another video, about 41 minutes or something like that. It was a long one. I'm not gonna lie to you, but also valid ass points that as far as reacting to that video and some of the things he said, especially TV being a PvP main, right? So let's go around the table, guys. Let's go around the table. All right.
Oh my god.
The one that is prepared. Let's hear yours first. What are you thinking about this?
Oh boy. No, I think Glad nailed it all right on the head. I know that that True Vanguard. I mean, when I heard what Glad said, we all know who Glad is. Glad's the guy that did a Crota raid with the what was it? The drums from Rock Band. That was his claim to fame. So he's a PvP or PvE guy. But everything that he was doing was basically just, or he said is, to me, it was just spot on. Why is the PvP crowd still here if they've been bitching about this for so long?
Yeah. I think one of the big things that he said that stuck out to me the most was he also said that, Destiny is a PvE centric game with PvP intertwined, right? But he also said, he followed that up with, without PvP, it's not Destiny. So I was like, you know what, that shit, that was perfect, because I can totally agree with that. And I think that's absolutely true, because you go and grind all these weapons to just do more PvE and grind for more weapons. When do you get to have fun and kill other guardians with them and test them out? But that's coming from a PvP, focused player as well. So
it's not even that. It's Gatr has this conspiracy theory that basically Bungie is going to remove PvP from Destiny 2. And they're going to say hey, they're going to put up a big sign saying, hey, go play Marathon for PvP. And that's just not how it works. You take away that PvP component. Even as lackluster as it is at the moment, it's still intrinsic to the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you think though that the problem that we've got is that because Bungie have been quiet for so long on the whole PvP situation, do you think that they were hopefully trying to wait it out until we got to the reveal in August to go, right, this is what we've got planned? They gave us a brief overview of this year that we'd kind of get one reprise map, one new map, and something else, coming to PvP, which was Supremacy again. But it was I know it's very minimal at the moment, and maybe it's just a reaction to the community over the last year and a half of they're scrambling to at that point they were scrambling to try and get PvP back on track, and we all know that game development takes quite a while to kind of get going again. And if they'd taken the main players and put them on Marathon, that they then needed to replace those players, and now we're kind of they're going to get they're getting their footing, and they're going forward from the reveal in August. There's going to be some big news. Do you think that's possibly the case?
I think, like Sweaty said, I think Bungie is keeping their cards very close to their chest right now. They don't
I
want
think
to
it was
reveal too much. But I mean, because if anybody says anything at Bungie, Twitter's all over them. I mean, my God, some of these guys were getting death threats because they mentioned, as a matter of fact, that a certain Titan exotic's not coming back. That's uncalled for. That can't happen. So they probably said, you know what? That's it.
They
We're
did
not
make
gonna.
the at Destiny 2 team Twitter account for that.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly. So I mean, people are getting death threats. Really? I mean, it's a video game. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Destiny, but it's still a video game. I still got to go outside and work every day, and I come home and kiss my wife and eat dinner and go to movies and have fun. Destiny's my hobby, but I'm not going to put a death threat against someone because I don't agree with what they say or they're trying to go against me. My view on this is Glad, number one, is not a PvP player. That's well established. He thrived and built his name on raid Sherpas and running through and doing a lot of raid content, which has nothing to do with PvP. And number two, I kind of felt like True Vanguard was being kind of not called out, but it seemed like that video was very tilted to him and people that make their living streaming PvP on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. And I was very, what's the word? I was very surprised that TV True Vanguard
Be right back.
wasn't much more animated about it because this is his living. About that reaction video he did about what Glad did. And I thought Glad it sounded to me like his chat, it was just nagging him about the PvP, and he was tired of hearing about it. And then he started ranting on this video. And I felt it was a little harsh because the number one thing about PvP is they promised us certain things and they didn't deliver on them. It's like they almost just forgot about stuff.
Okay. Well, okay.
Like the new maps and regenerated maps.
So, all right. I just got a question. Okay.
Mhm.
So PvP got a bunch of shit in the beginning. Okay, you got 3 maps and 2 maps in Warmind, 5 maps in Forsaken, and then 3 in Shadowkeep. And then like it kind of tailed off after that. Okay. And then Bungie said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to help out and we're going to focus on PvP and stuff like this." Nowhere in there. I mean, they said we're going to open the tap.
Tap.
Whatever the fuck that means. But what and I watched TV's video. Unfortunately, I had to go back to it once I suggested that we talk about this. But when I went back and I finished watching it, it was just basically I feel that he had unrealistic expectations as well as, if he's talking for the PvP crowd, that y'all had unrealistic expectations about what open the tap meant. And I mean, because you kept mentioning TV and I was holding off on it just because, we were going to talk about Glad's portion first. But it's just, I just think it's unrealistic expectations that the PvP crowd had.
It's never easy to speak on somebody else's behalf. I'm going to start with that. So to say that, well, I speak for any crowd in particular, I'm going to start with always take that with a grain of salt because it's still coming from an individual. That being said, in terms of Glad, forgive me, listener, but he just sounds like an angry dad.
Yes.
He just
It's
sounds
like he'd been nagged.
an old, not like, I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying it sounded like he was just an overworked, overtired, never appreciated, neglected, overworked dad. That's the only way I could put it. And he's just like, leave me alone. I don't care. I've already moved on from this topic. This is old news. And if you bring it up, I'm going to bring up old feelings of how I feel towards it. Here's the bitter truth of how I think about all of it. That's just the impression I was left with, I'm going to say. I'm not saying those are his words. I'm not saying Glad is an old dad. I'm just saying that is the impression that I was kind of left with at the end of it. And then True Vanguard, I felt like painted the stage of a mediator, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, dad's angry. I'm going to help you understand why that dad and mom, Bungie, are angry right now. And mediating is okay. The only thing that the individual as a consumer has to keep in mind is, as a consumer, he's also an individual, speaking from his individual experience, probably from, I would say, his acquaintances as well, a large portion of them, may I add. However, if he does not speak from a place that you identify from, like, do not be mistaken, do not be offended, do not be upset. We're non-conventional players here. What I do find in common with both of these things leading up to what I would say about it all, there's a genuine love for this game. What is it? We go to Call of Duty, we go to Apex Legends, we go to Diablo 4s, we go to all these other games looking for this particular feeling, some sort of identification, customization, feeling powerful. How do I want to be represented in an environment? And how do I enhance those experiences? Well, you do that with loot. And then how good is the loot? And what advantages does said loot give to me in over whatever nuanced situation it is that's represented? The bottom line in this particular topic, of course, being the PvP crowd. So let's bring it into the topic, because that's what everything is really umbrella covering at the end of the day. Everybody feels like it's been raining a lot in PvP. We're all been huddled too close together for too long under the same umbrella, and everybody's starting to get pissed off now. That's the way I look at it. And you know what? Yeah, 100%. You can't deny that it's been raining out there for a long time. And a lot of this maybe was a stage of expectation set up, yes, by Bungie. But I do believe that they are actively working it out. I do think that they are listening. I think that they are being smart at the moment by being quiet, because in the past, from the PvP community, unfortunately, and it saddens me to confirm that Gatr is correct, that CMs, Bungie devs, the people that we spoke about earlier that said are people that are probably experiencing things like Diablo 4 and the rewarding experiences of the different mechanics that has to offer, that, again, the bigger picture idea, coming back to the main point, these are people at the end of the day. They do not deserve to be attacked, and they have been personally attacked in the past, which is my personal belief, again, and opinion only, and bolding opinion, that why they're so quiet, because they have to protect themselves, because they've been in this situation before. Their numbers are likely, I'm not going to say confirmed, but probably likely fewer. Probably working under more pressure, as you can see if you look in any social space at all relating to Destiny right now. And I think they're just observing and collecting the information, seeing the absolute hottest of hot topics that are the hottest handle on the door, so that way they can address it when the time is appropriate. Yes, we are leading up to Final Shape. It's around the corner. We know it's coming. And to mention and to boot, this cycle is a cycle that happens every year, and I can identify that. Although, albeit, this is different. And the reason I said last week that I thought was different, and it stuck with me, is because we're coming to the tail end of expectations. Um, I think there's more to come, but I can't confirm that. That's just my opinion, and I do hope that there is more to come, because the small steps that they've taken, I've liked, except maybe the landing of the trials matchmaking. I like their intention. We were excited all last season for it. We were following it, looking forward to it, and looking forward to playing with our friends. But where it landed and the silence after implementation on where it landed, I think is having a rippling effect under our boots, encompassed with the rain that we've been standing in under that umbrella for such a long time, to put it into an analogy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I think you encompassed that pretty well.
I didn't understand. Can you repeat?
No.
Go for a
I'm just
walk.
kidding. Can you say that all over again? One more time?
That was very well put, Sweaty.
Yeah, no, it was, man. Oh, for sure.
I said something similar on our show last week regarding the Eververse store, because we were talking about the Eververse store and the microtransactions that Aztecross had a complete meltdown on.
Mhm.
And I think the problem was there, and I pinpointed it down to the fact that Bungie said only at one point that the Whisper of the Worm ornaments paid for the Outbreak Perfected mission. And I think the community ran with that and went, well, everything we purchase in the Eververse store is now going to be going towards everything in Destiny. And that's not the case. They've never said that. It's just that that one quote has kind of been blown out of proportion of everything that you pay for with silver in the Eververse store goes towards Bungie, and it doesn't. We know this, but a lot of people don't see that because of what Bungie said with that just one quote. It's yeah, it's, some things can get blown out of proportion, so that you can understand why they stay quiet on other things.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on the cycles of Destiny, because again, you've been playing this game long enough. You see the cycles of hype come and go. You see, we're in that point of the season where everyone's like, "Oh, the game's dying, everything's terrible." Come August and the reveal, "Oh my God, Bungie did it again!" They've
And
all the
this is
content
gonna
will be
be
right back to
history.
everything's been saved. But I think it's sort of even worse right now in that we're also in the middle. We're in the middle of a trilogy for content, because Witch Queen came out. That was the beginning of our story. Now we're in Lightfall. We're in that awkward middle trilogy period where we started the story. There's nothing wrapping up. We're just sort of in the middle of this, pushing the plot along. And then the final shape is, episode, the third part of our trilogy. So it's like we're in a bad spot. PvP is feeling really neglected. And we're sort of in the holding pattern between, hey, the Witch Queen was out with that was great. And the final shapes would be incredible. And now we're just sort of in the middle of the middle at the end of sort of where everyone's patience is and where the game sits right now. And of course, they announced Marathon. And everyone's going, well, obviously, everyone's looking for a whipping boy. Everyone's looking for, hey, what's wrong with this? Honestly, I saw both the Glad video and the True Vanguard response, and sort of skipped them this week because honestly, in my brain, I was sort of like, this is this week's Astrocross video, where
Yeah.
Astrocross quoted Dado, quoted Astrocross, quoted Dado. I'm like, this is this week's outrage train that we're going to ride for the week. Next week, someone else will be the main character. We'll be talking about that. It's like, it's, these things go on and on. I mean, part of it is like, yes, you have, all valid points. These are, and I'm sure, again, you're a big streamer, you have a large community. I'm sure Glad was absolutely frustrated with people asking him over and over about it.
Yeah, well put, man. Seriously.
Like, I know Grenader Jake's another one who,
Hmm.
I mean, he's been streaming Trials. I mean, if you were to think of a poster boy for Trials of Osiris, I can think of no one better than Grenader Jake, who's been at this 10, 12 hours, day in, day out, weekend after weekend after weekend for years, who's also getting to the point of going, I think it's time. And I wonder if some of it, too, is just plain burnout, too. I think some,
That's it.
like, like Dado made the video this week of, I've been doing, I will have been doing this for 10 years in Come Final Shape, day in and day out. Content creation is hard. It is a slog. Whether you're streaming, whether you're YouTubing, to a lesser degree, but still to a degree, podcasting, you are staying up with this game. You are staying involved. You are putting things out day after week for years. And if you've been doing this since 2014, that's a long time. You're tired.
Imagine how the devs feel.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you've been going through all this, to say nothing of the global worldwide change that we have all gone through with life and work and the complications around that.
Yeah.
Or the global pandemic that nobody had on their bingo card for the first part of the 2020s. I think we're, it's like the perfect storm of all these things coming together of we're tired, we're exhausted, and we're all, we're all dealing with trauma and looking for a place to offload it. And sometimes that's a streamer's comment section, sometimes that's a Bungie dev, sometimes it's whatever.
I often put the analogy that in order to restore, you have to destroy. So you have to tear it down in order to build it back up again. Now, I'm not saying we have to destroy Destiny and set it on fire, but what I am saying is sometimes there's peaks and valleys. Right now, we're in a valley, and that's okay. But the valley is leading to something where amazed today on Twitter, he said, "I'm quitting Destiny." And I'm like, you know what? Good for you, man. Because you're probably tired too and you want to be happy and you deserve to be happy. So do what makes you happy, man. Absolutely. And I support that
Yeah, if you don't
100%.
enjoy it, then don't do it anymore. You know.
So
Exactly.
that also leaves, you know, room for folks like us who are here just non-conventional players enjoying the
Yeah.
game just to enjoy the game. Like that's what it should be, in my opinion. But you know, again, at the same time, they've developed an empire where the foundation is this game. So I understand whenever you build your empire so high, it's a pretty long fall. I get it. But at the same time, where I'm at, I love this game. Yes, there's issues. There's always going to be outliers for sure. And what's responsible is what we do about it. You know, do we sit here and go at each other in a toxic way and take away from each other's lives over pardon my French here, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, but take away from each other's lives over a fucking video game? Fuck no. Get over yourselves. It's a fucking game. It's okay to take breaks if Destiny is not for you at the moment. It's okay because there are other games that are deserving of your attention. Yes, Gatr, that's right, buddy. I love you too.
Battlefield podcast when? Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh,
Shit.
zing.
Hey, it was fun while I did it.
But you
Was it
know
really,
that
though?
Bungie's gonna put an update at some point. They are gonna say something at some point. They always do at some point. But in the meantime, I'm gonna set out a challenge to the community. Don't shoot yourselves in the fucking foot in the meantime,
Yeah.
because then we
think the
won't
other
get this shit anymore.
I think the other thing that Parody hit the nail on the head with is the pandemic. The pandemic
Mhm.
shifted everything. I mean,
Yep.
I think Bungie is still working remotely, which causes, vast amounts of problems for people just in
Disconnects.
normal day jobs. Just so for them to put out expansion after expansion and still deliver what they're delivering, it's been fantastic. I mean, yes, we've still got issues with the game, and they do address that in this week's TWID. But just for what it was with the pandemic, it must have had a vast knock-on effect in the whole gaming industry, not just Destiny.
So before we dive into some of what we think are the current issues and things of that, I'd like to start out with some positives here because obviously there's a reason we're still here. Obviously, there's a reason we're still around. And I'm going to start with some of the reasons why I like it, Destiny 2 PvP and why I'm still around. And yes, it 110% entirely has to do with gun feel. That's where it starts for me. I started on Xbox. Um, and I would use weapons like bows. I would use weapons like shotguns, SMGs, pulse rifles, auto rifles. Coming from Call of Duty, certainly auto rifles. But I found that anytime I had a bounty, Gatr, if I had anything that involved a hand cannon on controller, on console specifically, if I had anything that had to do with PvP, like it terrified me legitimately for like the whole first year that I played because I noticed that I could go over to Modern Warfare and I could go into the open world and I could be number one from kill slaying and tactical play. But when it came to Destiny, it was a whole other ball game, and I had to rewire how I approached it and how I thought about it. And I had to learn more about my tools and my tool kits and my weapons. I had to learn more things about like map awareness because those weren't things that I was paying attention to whenever I was playing Modern Warfare till I came here because I was playing with more intention. Um, I learned all of that here in Destiny. That is my foundation in my gameplay. And so hand cannons and things like that is the niche feeling of first person gunplay gameplay that I just fucking love. There's something about a primary weapon being a hand cannon hitting at certain ranges and trying to nuance a situation where you can stay behind cover and peek shoot and still win, certainly in a situation where you have the disadvantage. And when you get the win, it is the biggest dopamine slap to the fucking face in the world.
Nah.
No, that's a sniper. That's a sniper
That-
headshot.
Agreed.
That's
Agreed.
That's just for me.
Agreed, Gatr. Sniper shots, it feels so good. Feels so good.
Agreed too. It's that precision shot, right? It's that
Mhm.
earned, I won the gunfight through a skill shot. And for me, that reward game loop comes from hand cannons and as well as snipers. But because I used hand cannons way more significantly than a sniper, that's where I'm going to primarily associate that rewarding game loop too. But yeah, so Destiny 2 PvP, it's definitely going to be that game loop in terms of that precision gun feel and learning how to approach those nuanced situations and use map awareness, things to that, and learning gameplay with teammates. Because I come from a background of solo, so I've actually learned team composition from Destiny 2 as well.
Hey, I agree. I came from Call of Duty. I didn't play Halo like some of you did. So I didn't know about the shielded Guardians you were shooting. I first played my first match in Crucible. I shot someone and said, wait a minute, they're not dead? I put 3 bullets in them. Why aren't they dead? And Sweaty, I gotta give it to you, man, because that's the way I feel. At the time in the 90s and early 2000s, Call of Duty was it. If you wanted a first-person shooter game that had really realistic feel, if you weren't playing Call of Duty, you didn't know what the hell you were doing. But then in 2014 came along this little game called Destiny. All of a sudden, Call of Duty was not number one anymore as far as gun feel. It was Destiny. And not only that, Destiny they didn't have like 5 auto rifles, 1 pulse rifle, 2 scout rifles. They call them sidearms in Call of Duty, not hand cannons. And maybe a couple shotguns. When I played Destiny, they had 25 pulse rifles. They had probably the same amount of scout rifles. They had such a variety of weapons, and not only that, they didn't all fire the same because they had perks in each weapon slot that made it do different things. It was so much way beyond Call of Duty. Call of Duty was just aim, spray, and pray. I mean, as all the times that I played Call of Duty, I can't really think I learned a whole lot on how to get better because 2 bullets got you. Someone could sit in a corner, and as you're running by, they shoot you in the back. That just got me so pissed. Finally, you would start doing it because you were tired of being the idiot running around. So all of a sudden, it's just a big camp fest. Everyone just camps and waits for someone to run by them.
Claymores.
Oh, God, yeah. But my point is when I started playing Destiny, the first year, Sweaty, you talked about how you were terrified. The whole first year of Destiny, I was so tired of multiplayer. I said, I love these worlds. I would sit on the Cosmodrome on the edge, look at the skylines, and just listen to the insects in my ear. I had my full headphones on, and I was there. It was the most realistic game I've ever played. I actually felt like I was there. And there was no way in hell I was going to play PvP until I finally had this little exotic weapon that I wanted called you had to get void kills to unlock the weapon. The damage over time hand cannon. See, I told you I don't remember.
Malfeasance?
No, Thorn.
Yeah.
I wanted the Thorn because it did damage over time, and you would shoot someone 2 times and walk away. Boom, 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 they're dead. And I wanted that, and I wanted to play it in PvE. So I finally dipped my toes into Crucible. Skipped so many Iron Banners, and my God, I cannot believe I was kicking myself. I didn't even realize there was another whole part of this game that was better than Call of Duty. So for me, the gun feel is outstanding. I still think it's the best gun feel game in right now online. Mm-hmm. And the fact that their people are shielded, that means if someone has better skill and you shoot them in the back from sitting in a corner, they can whip around and still take you out because it's not a 3-bullet kill. The time to kill is a lot longer, which means you learn how to be defensive, you learn how to evade, you learn about the skill selling, which is movement in this game, and you were able to turn around and actually kill the person who was sitting in a corner camping on you. So it taught me so much about cover shooting, about map flowing with your team, adapting to what your players were using around you. There was just so much to learn. and I just became a sponge. I became a sponge. I started watching True Vanguard play trials and how he worked with his other two teammates. And Gatr, man, I remember that guy. I subbed that guy forever.
I remember
And
him.
I learned all of these different methods of ways they were playing. It was the best school to play Crucible ever, is to just sit there and watch streams and watch how the really top tier players handled a situation. So that is what Crucible is to me.
That's good. But what about the curtain state? Because this is supposed to be about what the issues are. You guys are talking about all the beautiful things.
Well, he wanted to start off.
I know. I get that.
I'm just listening to the host tell me what to do.
Well, hey, real quick. So.
Oh, Dad's here.
Is different than what you guys are talking about. Okay. Because PvP for me is self-professed, PvP casual here. Okay. Is that it's a place for me to go in and have fun. If I get kills, great. If I get killed, that sucks. It's just, it doesn't ruin my day. I don't get shitty. If I'm playing, a bunch of cheaters, then, it is what it is kind of thing. It's like, I wouldn't know basically, because I'm not at that level where, if somebody is cheating and, they're in my skill level, well, more power to them. But for me, it's just all about having fun. So I'll go in with some jank ass loadout or something like that and be like, hey, I'm gonna, try this build that I saw on Native Raiders channel and see how it does for me. And that's what PvP is to me. It's just a place to go in, have fun, shoot demands, try not to die, get better, and just, if I wanted to put effort into it, I could. But for the most part, it's just, for me, it's about having fun. It's not serious.
Let me ask. Sorry, I'm building off of his point that it's about team play and having fun with friends and stuff, and I'm all for that too. Don't get me wrong, but Native, Sweaty, and I can't speak. Well, Night Demon, we're all kind of hardcore PvP players. I say hardcore very much in quotes, that we enjoy ourselves and we try to get better in the game. And if we get shot, we're not happy about it. Why did I get shot? What was I doing stupid that got me shot? Isn't there a certain point when you play this game where you're like, whoa, I'm actually coming out ahead in most of the scoreboards every game. There comes a point where you start seeing improvement in your game, and then all of a sudden it's such an addiction. You're thinking, man, I was at a 1.1 last year, and now I'm at a 1.5. I'm actually getting better at this game with my hand coordination, with my gun skill, with map knowledge, map awareness, all these things that you can improve in the game. And I don't know, I'm just seeing if you agree with me here. There's a certain point where you play this game enough that you start just getting more serious about getting better at playing it. It's like any hobby you have. If you start getting really good at drag racing and your reaction time, you're getting 000s at the line, you start thinking, man, maybe I got something here. Maybe there's something I have a skill in doing. And granted, I get my ass kicked a lot, but those games that just seem to be flowing, I just take things a little more personally when I'm playing. Not at the other teammate, at myself mainly. But I may not always express it that way. But is that the way you guys feel, Night Demon? I know, Parody, you play PvP too, but I know Night Demon's the big Iron Banner guy. I just was throwing it out there.
I think we actually lost Night Demon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, Demon's laptop just shut down on him, so he said he was powering it back on. And
that sucks.
He'll be coming back in. But no, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I stuck a picture in the green room because this past Iron Banner, buddy of mine, Panoramics 18, we've been friends in real life forever now, and he was the one who was like, hey, there's this game Destiny 2 at Gamefly, you should go pick it up, we'll try it, or I'm sorry, Destiny 1, like, a week or two after it came out. Hey, we should try this out, we should go play, pick this up and play it. We go into Iron Banner dressed alike. We go into PvP, wearing the exact same Iron Banner loadout, same shaders. Because really, I just have a deep, deep hope that one day someone will go, I killed that guy. Why am I getting shot by the same guy I just killed? He's over there now. So we'll run, we'll run around, double sweep business and Actium War rigs or just something. I mean, something silly, something meme loadouts. But you definitely hit the nail on the head. It's part of it. It's the friend game. It's the fun game. I'm gonna go in, and honestly, I love what they've done with Iron Banner becoming just. People are like, oh, I don't want to do PvP. I don't want to go in. I'm like, listen, go in, play your matches, get your loot. All you have to do is just play the matches. Play 18 games in the week, and you can get your pinnacle drops. You can get your exotics. You can get some high level armor rolls potentially. It's literally just you show up, you participate, and you get stuff for it. And I think that's how I want there to be like an intro to PvP for people. Just show up and play the game. That's it. And
it's almost that way in trials too.
Yeah, and we're gonna hand you loot. Yeah, I mean that's why I started playing trials when they did the revamp of, hey, I've got a bar. I can make the bar go left to right and fill it up and get rewards out of it. Yeah, nothing I have is adept, but I've got my messenger roles. I've got my immortal roles. I can go back to State 14 and say, give me new things. I can play the game. I can get the things, and it gives me a reason to go in. Yeah, I am maybe a 1-0 PvP player, but like the first Iron Banner after they buffed the sweet business, I rolled in with that thing in Actium War rig and was laying waste to people because no one expects it. It works out for a minute until they catch on, but you can have so much fun going, I'm running this ridiculous meme loadout and having success with it.
Then you get fusion
no
rifle.
better feeling. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like when they catch on, or you're playing hand cannon users, or people at range, or any of the 10,000 reasons why that's not going to work. Yeah. But you have those moments of just, I feel good, I'm doing well. I always joke, I'm like, oh, they put me down in the beginner group in the matchmaking. Let me start here, and then you win a couple games. You're like, oh no, wait, now I'm back up here with the people I should be playing with, and getting my ass handed to me left and right. So
yeah, they boost your ego to knock you right back down. Like, hold up, shit.
Things are going great. Oh, things aren't so great right now.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. So what else? Let's move on to this next question here. Balance. Now, this one I wanted to put in here because I feel like this is a type of game that cannot be balanced. It's a looter shooter. It's constantly evolving. It's changing. Perks are added, power creep, and all that kind of shit, right? Do you think it's balanced at the moment within the Crucible? Do you think there's an issue that the balance is causing more people to not play it, or it to quote unquote die, which it's definitely not, but just balance in general? What do you guys think?
Personal opinion, I think it's most balanced it's ever felt.
Yeah.
Agreed. The sandbox, at least.
There's no outliers right now. There's nothing that I'll admit,
Graviton Lance.
Much time in trials this season as I usually have. So that I'll admit. But thus far, and I've been participating quite a bit. I mean, I'm season level 92, no bounty hoarding, Gatr.
I didn't bounty hoard this season. I'm 100.
I know. I just like busting your balls about it.
I know you do. I know. Love you too.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is like I don't even remember what I was trying to say anymore. I forget now. I just
You're saying it's most balanced.
It is. There's not something that's completely dominating.
Outliers, right. There's no like Herbalists going crazy right now.
Right.
There's no what was the other one? The Lorentz driver. Man, that drove me nuts. I'm not sure if you guys experienced DMT when it first released on PC specifically.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I actually chased one of our people out of scrims because he kept killing me with it, and I tried to shame him, and I think he just said, "Dude, you're taking this game way too seriously."
Yeah,
everyone knows who I'm talking about, and I felt really bad, but that thing was just a dart.
You should have felt bad.
Yeah, but there again, I'm asking myself, why did I die?
An example of coming back to present. Yeah, no, it's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Besides Graviton Lance, that shit is stupid. They need to chill.
I tried it.
They need to chill.
Some skill to use, man.
Bro, but it's so easy to kill with, like, as far as like you get that two head tap, like it's easy, and on top of it, you're getting another kill likely if there's somebody next to him.
By it.
It's
but here's the thing, Native. That first shot before they buffed it was a joke. He would hit a headshot on that first shot, and then if the follow up shot was above it, it meant nothing. That gun was garbage, man. And I just think people are just realizing from the collateral damage it's getting now. But I'll
what
be
are the
honest,
values up to what Brazil? Do we know?
I haven't even used it a whole lot, to be honest.
I messed with it a bit, and it was dumb.
It's yeah.
I'm kind of curious on.
People. I'm one of those bad people. I took it into I took that in a 7 Seraph carbine with reconstruction into this last Iron Banner, because again I almost treated the Graviton lands like the Sweet Business. I'm gonna find a place. If you guys are gonna stand up and hug each other and bunch up and just stand in a corner, and I can just keep putting shots into you, that's not my fault.
Hey, but here's the thing: you can do the same thing with a Cloud Strike.
Well, you can.
True.
I can't, but maybe you can.
It does. It requires a lot more skill compared to the Graviton. Out of curiosity,
Graviton, you can pair it with Immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you can.
God.
There you go.
You're welcome.
That's
Sorry,
toxic.
Trader. Go ahead there.
I was curious, Hazel, have you tried this in PvE? Because I was thinking about it the other day, like with that blowing up type shit for precision kills. Have you fucked with that at all in there?
I really haven't, just because I don't use, I don't know, I just don't use that. For me, I'm like, I mean, for the most part, whenever I'm in PvE, I'm mostly using pretty much like double like SMGs.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
So,
that is interesting.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, they just burn through everything.
I know right now pulses don't got nothing in the artifact. I don't think
Not a whole lot.
as far as champs.
As far as champion.
Nah,
lines, no.
yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if
But
I
I-
got something with
yeah.
champions, I'll throw something on for that. But I mean, otherwise, it's just, why would I make my life harder, by using something that's,
Yeah.
not optimal.
It's pretty stupid in PvE as well. I was using it to make that video on the Monument of Lost Light weapons. I was testing them in a lost sector. I was literally just one tapping.
That
one
was
tapping.
That was before the buff, though.
It was
Yeah.
before the buff. Can you imagine it now? Now that you get more power. But the second bullet loses a little power. But if you hit that first shot, I'm telling you, it's chaos with that gun.
All right, there you go, Gatr. That's your next video. The changes from the weapons of Monument of Light.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, you guys want to move on to the next one here, and we're going to talk about the expectations. Like, should people think that it's going to get better in PvP? Like, is that a realistic expectation? This being a, PvE somewhat focused. I'm going to say somewhat focused because I don't think it's entirely focused as much as a lot of people say that this is a PvE game. That's all it's all about. Like, it's definitely not. That's not the case. Obviously, certain ritual playlists have been slept on. Gambit, right? Do you think that the PvE or the PvP community think that? I mean, should this be a realistic expectation to get better?
Oh, see, PvP players got it good.
Mhm.
Compared to those of us who enjoy Gambit. Come on now. You guys are living high on the hawk.
Speaking of
I
which,
don't know. Gambit feels pretty good right now.
Ask Hazel.
I played last night with Exonus, and he's holding us to the ad that we did where we will play Gambit 2. So
Absolutely.
we got to set that up with Exonix.
I'll get in there with them next time too.
Right.
The secret is Gambit's never felt bad. But no, I think honestly, to say is PvP going to get better, you first need to define what's better. Is
Better than present?
There you go.
I hope
Right.
so.
Yeah, is better. I want to see a new map every XYZ seasons. Is it, hey, you made these promises, fulfill them. What is better? Because I think you could ask all of us. You go into any streamer's chat and say what's better, and you'll get everything from Bungie doesn't care, it's all marathon now, to I don't play and I don't care anyway. So I think it's like what's better, and then. I mean, again, I'm going to it. I'm enjoying it. Again, I don't make my living off PvP. I go in and play. I live at Iron Banner. And then I've been having fun with Rift. Honestly, I'm happy to see the things come back. I enjoyed Supremacy coming back. I enjoy Rift as a thing. I know Rift is, you either love it or hate it, but really, just find a friend. Chase someone around in Rift. Work as a team, and you're good to go. It's, I'm enjoying seeing some of the game types come back that have been missing. That I remember from D1 going, hey, we had good times in this, and then it's just been gone forever. So I mean, in my eyes, it's better in that. I like this. I like the experimentation because I remember when they said, hey, we're releasing Crucible Labs, and then just sort of didn't. for like a year. We're just like, hey, we could test things out. I'm like, remember the Crucible Labs you guys announced and then just never did? The
Yeah,
fact that
those
we
things are
have
a
that,
problem.
the fact that we have Iron Banner and it's getting game modes, you know, love it or hate Fortress, love it or hate Eruption. Those are new things. You know, maybe you know we got a new map. Maybe you hate the new map, but hey, you got one. You know, there is work being done there. Yeah, maybe it's not the work you want to see. Maybe it's not what you enjoy, but you're getting content. And not to say that getting content at all, looking at Gambit, is the baseline, but still, you know, there is progress being made. So yeah, is it as fast as everybody wants it to be? Absolutely not. It's never going to be. But it's I think it's moving in the right direction. It is getting better wherever your line of better is.
But see, that's the thing though, okay? So in the True Vanguard video, he's like saying that he's like, you know, that they want that PvP people want more maps and more modes and things like this and more weapons, more loot. And in the course of the video, he says that Bungie has given more modes and more maps and things like this. And then he's like, but they're not good. They're not what we asked for. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, you just want to be unhappy. It's like, I mean, it's like he says that he wants these things. Bungie gives them these things, and it's still not enough.
From an outside perspective of looking at PvP and looking at what they've done with, like Perry was saying, with Crucible Labs, the thing with Crucible Labs is that they tried Trials Labs, which was good, and then last season they said, right, we're doing Crucible Labs and we're going to put it on a rotator. And doing like This Week in Destiny videos, I kept a list of, you know, the rotators so that I could tell people when they were coming back up. And they didn't say going into season 21 we were going to stop that rotator, but they completely did, because we had, I can't, was it Showdown, wasn't it? There was 3 different versions of Showdown. They did Showdown Classic, they did Showdown something else, and Showdown something else. And they did that for about 6 weeks in season 20. And then for the whole of season 21, we've just gone back to elimination in Crucible Labs. And it's like, well, I thought we were trialing something. You know, at least try it every couple of weeks. But for like 6 weeks, we've just had elimination in Crucible Labs, which is just like, we took it out of trials, but we've put it over there. So that's what's confusing. I appreciate that they've brought back Supremacy, because it obviously was a game mode that people enjoyed in the Guardian games, and now it's back in the rotator, which was quite nice. But saying that, we've had Crimson Days just completely taken out of the game. You know, a doubles game mode, which was good for like the February event that we had way back when, but they could introduce that into a playlist or into a rotator somewhere along the lines of saying it's 2v2. That's it, you know. And then maybe when Valentine's comes around, they have that special kind of, you know, where I think it was the Bond thing, isn't it? You get closer together and you kind of heal quicker. And if your partner dies, you then do extra damage, kind of thing. That was a unique mechanic for Crucible, but they just completely took it out of the game. So it is frustrating when you see that they do these things and then people say we do like this, or it's not like that we didn't say that we didn't like Crimson Days and that was just taken out of the game. And it wasn't like they didn't give us any feedback on saying that the Crucible Labs wasn't working, so we're just going to put elimination back over there for the next month. It's like there's no communication with that. I'd like to see a bit more communication of the reasons why they took things out, or the reasons why they're putting things in, and more dialogue over the rotations of, like, I'd like to know. I mean, I'm sure people would also like to know what's actually coming up. I mean, why is it a big secret that we have to wait till every Friday to find out what is happening next week in Destiny with the rotators and things? I could understand that people got upset with, you know, the different calendars giving everything away. But if people knew that, say, a special trials event was happening in like 3 weeks' time and it was on their calendar, you know, people could then make a big thing about it. If Crimson Days came back in like 2 months' time and they said, you know, it's going to work on these specific weeks, a bit like they do with Iron Banner. Iron Banner's on this week, and this week. they let us know that kind of thing, but then other things are kind of still ambiguous. Anyway.
That was well put.
Go ahead, Native.
No, I was gonna say that was well put. Like that was, I think that rolls in perfectly with the next kind of like topic about like our thoughts on the different playlists within the Crucible with comp trials, Iron Banner, the quick play, the what do they call it, the different rotational playlists and stuff like that. And I'm honestly curious to what you guys think about. I mean, we could start with comp, or you guys just chime in, whatever, you know. Like, let's talk about the playlists themselves and what you think is good, what's bad, or what could be better, what ideas to make shit better, you know?
Well, first and foremost, please take Rift out of comp.
Yes, please.
I love Showdown, by the way. That was a great game mode for comp.
Agreed.
Quick matches. You either won them or you didn't, and you had a shot to come back, you know? And then you had the timers where people just couldn't sit forever. You'd have to go get a cap point, and it's really quick. I love those fast fire matches. They're trying to... I know they had good intentions with the team-based matchmaking, but the difference I've seen playing my Iron Banner and my 6 stacks is that it's gotten much sweatier playing team-based matchmaking. A lot of my friends are not having fun right now playing Iron Banner. We get, I would say at half the matches, we just get run over. I mean, we just get run over. I mean, it's no fun when you're getting mercied within 5 minutes of the match, or it's 4 minutes of the match even. And I got to wonder, this team-based matchmaking, I can't even keep track of what they're even setting up. Is it skill-based? Is it connection-based? I've lost count on how many times they've changed it.
It doesn't matter. It's all just, it's 6 people. I mean, it's a 6 stack versus a 6 stack. That's what it's for.
It just seems like we're almost encouraged to play in a 3 stack because the 6 stacks have just been, no offense, SweatySpookz, sweaty.
No offense taken, because
Sweaty.
guess what? I've been playing the smaller stacks as well. If I'm playing trials, I'm not playing with 2 other people. I'm only playing with 1 usually.
Really?
If I'm hoping to go flawless, I'm hoping that person that I'm playing with is better than me.
Yeah.
If
So you're playing solo? Is that what you're saying?
I've been playing solo this whole time.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Now, when I got the what one is it? What was the card that I did with Moira?
Confidence.
Confidence card. Thank you. Whenever we got that done, mechanically speaking, I would not understand this until Fluffy approached me after the fact. But we mechanically had everything going against us that weekend. Matchmaking was broken and not working as it was expected. And we somehow still got it done. So ever since then, I also noticed that if you have one person that you can play well with, usually, certainly in a comp setting, like if you're comfortable enough to play with them in comp, team up with them. Just the 2 of you. You'll probably have a better experience, because here's why. If you go in solo, which is what most of my experience is, you're really depending on RNG in terms of your teammates that are backing you up. I don't mind having the aggressive, super sweaty person, because they go in, they distract, clean up or get the kill, whatever it is. It's a good cycle. It works. Or sometimes I have to be the sweaty person that goes jumping in there while everybody else is in the back. It really just, you have to be able to read the room, read the audience,
adapt to your team,
and stay with them. And also, in relation to your team's position, pay attention to your radar and where the enemy is. Now, obviously, those skills, you're not always going to go flawless just from those skills alone. However, if you're solo, sometimes if you
it all
just
clicks.
If you just try again, sometimes it clicks. Not always. Telesto weekend, I would do 222 matches and would not go flawless.
Wow.
The following weekend, my flawless match was 223, literally.
Wow.
But of
A lot of
course,
games.
like, yeah, I was playing with intention. I was trying to close the gap on my flawless title, which I only need to help people get to the lighthouse 2 more times, and then I'll have it. But again, playing with intention, really grinding. I did not get the Adept Messenger. That's the one Adept weapon from Trials that I actually want. So whenever that comes around, I'll be trying again. But outside of that, like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is Trials is a whole different vibe of what it used to be to what it is now with the matchmaking. I understand what Bungie had in mind. Last season, here's what the trade-off were. Trades-off were this. You could jump in solo and you could go flawless and you can get the weapon and you could get all the rewards. You could get all of the mementos, but you couldn't play with your friends. This season, you can play with your friends all you want, but you're probably not going flawless. And if you do go flawless, be very thankful to RNG and luck and your friends. Very much so, your friends, if you're playing with your friends. If you're going solo, congratulations, a tip of the hat to you, because if you're coming from the experience that it was an easy trip, then I'm going to say that you're probably a very skilled player. Tip of the hat to you, pat on the back. But for us casual folks, non-conventional players, I've been finding this season it is significantly, noticeably way harder to hit that flawless than it was last season, even
Really?
with that second forgiveness.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure what it is about it. And this is just my experience. I'm not speaking on anybody else's behalf. I'm not trying to speak for anybody else either. I haven't been playing it as much because it just doesn't feel realistic anymore. It doesn't feel like I can accomplish that goal by myself anymore. And it's not that I don't want to like not play with friends or anything, but like a lot of people are just dipping off right now. There's other things happening. It's summertime as well, so IRL,
Yeah.
there's lots of real things happening.
It's true.
People are going fishing, camping, family time, all that fun stuff. We just picked up a new kitty, like things like that. So there's a lot in general, bigger picture going on. So I understand that the numbers are going to be a little bit lower right now. There's not a whole lot to offer. And you know what? I'm going to be the bold fucking arsehole that says it. Maybe there should be a season of no FOMO. So there's no reason to bitch about it. Everybody's complaining because there's nothing to do. Well, you've been complaining because everybody's got a fear of missing out. Let it rest for a season. This probably is the perfect season for all of this to happen, in my personal opinion. Again, not speaking for or on behalf of anybody else, but the reason I say that is because I think that Bungie is paying a pension. I think they are taking notes. I think that there is going to be changes coming. Trials, okay, I'll equate it to this analogy. Whenever they killed Cade, I had a mustard seed side faith from that moment forward to present date that he was going to come back. And that was confirmed against all odds and all the people that told me it's impossible. He'll come back as Cade 7. No, Cade 6 is coming back. We know that. So if Bungie's capable of doing that, of flourishing that small little mustard seed that I call it, I guess, they're gonna pay attention to their game. They love this game. I know that they do. They're invested in it just as much as we are. We're just upset that we can't be whatever it is that everybody's wanting it to be right now, and that's okay. But again, I'm gonna say it. It's okay to have a season of no FOMO.
Well, what's quite interesting is that both you and Gatr have hit on the fact that they've changed the game modes, so they are working on PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether it's a new map or something, they are still trying out different ways of making people connect, how people play together. You're saying it's bad this season for X amount of reasons, and Gatr saying it's X amount of reasons bad for. We know, and we've played it for so long, that they flip flop or they change the way that connection and skill base, and they're trying to find a good medium, and they have to keep changing it every couple of seasons. They have to get the data in. So from what you two have both said, it looks, from an outside perspective, that they are doing something. They're just not telling us every 5 seconds what they're doing. They are doing stuff. Very minor stuff at the moment, but they are still doing stuff.
It's bottlenecking to something. We just don't know what's in the middle yet.
Yeah,
Well-
and I mean, and like Bungie has said, like whenever they have the opportunity, it's like they said, hey, like this season is done, the next season is done. We're starting to do like intro work on the final shape. Like this is a big, massive game that's not going to move quickly. This is the Titanic. Not to say it's going to end the same way, but this is a massive game where you can't complain on Twitter on Monday and then expect on Friday to see changes in the game. That's just not how this is going to work. That's not reality. And it's like you would touch on when True Vanguard's points going, well, you gave us this, but we don't like what you gave us. Well, that's different than you got something. Okay, you weren't happy with it, but you can't say nothing is happening. It's happening. Maybe it's not happening to your liking, but it's happening. And I haven't set foot into, honestly, Trials is something I sort of play when I have the time to play. I don't even really care what the reward is, what the map is. I'm just playing literally to earn engrams to turn into Saint 14. That's the sole reason to go into Trials. I know I won't go flawless unless I happen to luck into cards. I think I've gotten to 5 wins again, just sort of solo queuing, luck of the draw. But I enjoy going in earlier in the seasons when the population is high, because I know there's more people like me going into the seasons when the population is high. So I went to look at the Trials report, just sort of to your point, obviously Bungie's making changes, the vibe is changing, but we're also, as the season goes on, the numbers go down. That's just what happens. Unless Bungie does something to bring people to Trials, or we have a laser tag weekend or a Telesto weekend or some sort of intentional or not fun Trials event. Like, at the tail end of last season, in February, there were 169,000 people playing Trials. 35,000 of them went flawless. The first week of the new season, 542,000 people were in and 190,000 went flawless. So, the first week of the season, more people went flawless than were playing Trials the previous week. And those, and those numbers just, continue, this past weekend, or I guess, like the weekend that ended June 16th when Wormhaven was up, 225,000 people playing, 71,000 flawless. So again, you're seeing we started at 500,000 people. We're already at half that on the population for the season of even people stepping foot into Trials. And people like me, again, not that I really pay a lot of attention to what wiki is or what the map is, but I'm more inclined to go in earlier in the season because I know more people are going, let me give this a shot. Let me go in and just try this out. They've made some changes. Let me see what happens. And comp, I have nothing to say about because honestly, ever since Bungie was like, play your 7 games and do the ranking, I just haven't. Just because of all the things that I'm doing in a week. That's usually the thing I would sort of get to last and go, well, let me jump into comp. I would always play like 2 or 3 matches just to dip a toe in, or honestly, if there's a weekly challenge tied to it or a bounty tied to it, I can go, let me jump in and do those things. But it's not the top of my priority list. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But it's really just sort of the whims of the community and the whims of how many people are in. Can I go into Trials and if I'm going to get stomped from game 1, I'm jumping right back out. If it's a good week where there's a lot of people, I might get 2, 3, maybe even 4 games in when I'm playing what I feel is competitive to my level before I'm just absolutely getting stomped. Where you blink, and again, and I'm playing on Xbox, I'm on console, so I don't really see the cheaters. 1, because I'm not good enough for people to cheat against me, and 2, I'm again just personal experience. I'm assuming it's a bigger problem on PC than it is on console. But again, I think to Hazel's point earlier, I just assume people who are absolutely outplaying me are absolutely outplaying me, not because they're cheating. They're just incredible. They're getting that cloud strike team wipe from across the map, and I go, I don't even know how you did that from there, but good job. Like it seems feasible to me.
Can I mention something? The original question that Native prompted here was, do we think it's going to get any better from here until the end of the final shape, right?
No, I thought it was about playlists, but
Yeah,
I've lost track.
that was one of them for sure. What's up?
Well, I think the bearer of bad news here is, other than maybe a little twist or twinkle here and there, PvP is where it's at. It's not going to get any better. There's a skeleton crew running PvP right now. I mean, can you imagine how happy the PvP team was when they had a whole new IP to play with. They were probably so burned out on PvP, and when they start playing this, designing this game Marathon, they're probably a little light in their eyes. They're like, "Oh wow, okay, we can start doing what we've been wanting to do." But as far as the rest of the next expansion into the next year, I don't see it getting any better. So, I mean, and to defend TV here, because we're all saying that we're ungrateful because we don't like what they gave us. That's not the point that TV was making. The point is if you look at the number of maps and stuff they've released, undoing the tap, so to speak, if you look at the last year, there's been nothing released. They take all these maps away from us, and we were so used to getting 4 maps a season or 4 maps an expansion. If you look at the last year, there's been nothing. One new map, Disjunction, and everyone hates it, but that's fine. That's a separate point. But the fact of the matter is, other than Melting Point, what have they given us back?
Well, TV really emphasized on the word upkeep in that video too, right? Like he kept reiterating that, this is what the general consensus or narrative is, but really what at the end of the day, bottom line is that everybody's looking for is just the upkeep that the rest of the game gets. It's not so much we need to have all brand new spanking new activities, dungeon level of content. It's not really even that. It's just some upkeep to keep up with the rest of the game is all.
But you are getting upkeep. There are 2 balance passes every
No,
season
that's
for
maintenance.
weapons.
That's keeping things fresh.
Upkeep.
But there's been no revised maps coming out. We've had Melting Point. I think that's the first new map.
You're just counteracting what Sweaty just said, though.
Well, I mean, all we're asking for.
This is the problem with PvP people right here. Okay, y'all are all over the damn place. Okay,
No, we're not.
because half of you want new maps, and that's the only damn thing. Some of the people
We don't want new maps. We just want our maps back. We want our maps back that they took away.
But they want a combination of things, Hazel. They want their old maps back that played really badly, that Bungie said they were going to fix and then bring back. But
You mean Dead Cliffs? That's in the game already?
They want them back now. Don't you argue with them. And then they want new maps as well. But they all forget what it was like in Destiny 1 when we had 6 months of nothing. No balance patches, no maps, no nothing. And it was the same meta for 6 months. And we all still played it. And we all still came back for Destiny 2. And we're all still here now.
Hey, Night Demon.
Yes.
Those are the glory days.
Yeah, they are.
Those are the days that everybody was like looking back at now, like, you know what, guys? We're bitching about stuff right now because shit's not like it was in D1. But those are the glory days.
No, my point is what did Smith say? He said they had to set the foundation, right? They had to set the foundation. They had to make sure the foundation of the house was good before we start doing anything to it. Well, okay. Now, and then they said they were going to undo the tap and start releasing the maps back like they said they would. I don't care if they're new maps, but they lied to us. They told us they were going to bring back maps over time. And we feel like we're the forgotten part of the community because we've gotten 2 maps in a whole year and a half to 2 years.
Yes, but you still got to remember COVID.
That's valid.
What about it?
COVID's had such an impact on everything.
Work from home. No.
They kept that model. They kept that model. They still work from home.
Yeah. I know. I was looking at their website. Think about applying.
Can I throw out a question?
Oh God.
It's loaded as fuck. I'm just gonna.
Of course it is.
Let's go.
This is what I'm used to, everyone. This is what I'm used to hearing.
So, okay, now I'm gonna ask. This is a question for everybody here individually. All right. I don't want anybody else to chime in about anything else. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What do you want singularly to be done with PvP? What would make you personally happy?
I just spoke. I'll let everybody else speak.
Well, wait, no, Gatr. You said you want the old maps back. That's it.
They said they were gonna undo the tap.
Gatr, That's not an answer.
Singular.
Under the tap is not an answer.
Bring the flow of maps that they promised us. I'm not saying new maps. I'm just saying we've had 2 maps in 2 years. That's not what they said they were going to do. How about a revised map? A bring back an old classic map, and let's face it, nothing has really been changed on these maps. It's the same map. Bring back one of the old maps every season. Bring back a new map one time a year. Every season.
One new
How many?
map and a revised
Sweaty. How many?
map every season.
Sweaty.
So that's
How
all
many?
you want, Gatr.
I
And
just.
then you'd be happy.
I would be happy because the sandbox is good. We just are playing the same maps over and over again. And we're talking about burnout. We're burnt out playing these same maps over and over again.
Okay. So next. Okay. We'll hit native because native's been quiet.
Nothing is perfect, bro. Let's keep it the way it is. I'm just kidding.
Okay, and this is the episode where native gets canned. No.
I mean, the map thing, I get that, but I don't think that's really what I would want. I think what I would want is dedicated servers, an okay answer, stability, matchmaking, rework, competitive. Like competitive, I was so excited about, but it's not real, true rank-based, ladder-based system. So I think that's probably the main thing because I was so excited about it. I was like, yo, let's go. This is something that I can enjoy, like, week in, week out. Like, it's not just a weekend thing like Trials, which Trials is cool. Don't get me wrong, but like, this was actually going to be something like that. I think there needs to be an added aspect to not the competitive mode, but the competitive aspect of PvP. And with the proper rewards to suck players into it. Let's do. How about? Do you guys remember? Was it Black Ops 1? Maybe you had clan ranking systems, right? To where you can sit there and clan v clan PvP type
Clan
shit.
Wars.
Yeah. Why not? Like that can't be too hard to incorporate into the game, depending on the resources. But how cool would that should be? Like
How about just a gun game? Your gun versus my gun. No frickin' Nova Bomb.
Nah,
Let's go.
I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool as like maybe a rotator shit, like like Scorched or something like that. Nobody likes, but yeah. So my idea to make it better is give it that more of a competitive edge. Like I was pissed when they took out the light levels for Iron Banner because to me it made it feel less important. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like we might as well just be playing another playlist. You got a loot pool of Iron Banner weapons, but it's that
like a theme now. That's all it is.
Exclusivity of shit to get is like kind of just like whatever,
Yeah.
Well, the good news, native, is they're bringing all that, man. In Marathon, they're bringing it.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sweaty, what about you?
So, if I understand correctly, what is a singular thing that Bungie could do to improve PvP?
For you,
For me,
what do you want to see? Like, I guess like on the grand scheme
I
of
could
things,
easily answer this
Okay.
very easily. Whatever gives the game a higher population.
The good answer.
Cop out. That's a cop out
It's a
answer.
good answer, though.
Because
I'm serious.
Okay, so another immortal. There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Done.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That spiked population.
See, I'm going to jump on that answer because I was going to say the same thing, except for an entry. It onboard people into PvP. Get people into PvP. If you're coming to PvP for the first time, and again, I never really play any Call of Duty because I'm not that kind of Twitch shooter. That's not my game. But like when you step into PvP Halo, they're like, listen, you're going to play here sort of in the kiddie pool of PvP. You're not going against the Trials God. You're not going to get stomped. You're playing in a playlist with other people who also don't play PvP. You're going to have at least a decent time coming into this and learning how it works, getting the feel for it. Because, I mean, Destiny 2 PvP is its own thing. We've rattled off how many other shooters that we've all played throughout time. Destiny PvP is a different animal.
Plus,
And I
it's
think,
peer-to-peer,
again-
so I wonder if that fact alone is what sets it apart, meaning one of the leading causes to what we're experiencing. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, I think it's all those things, but I think getting people into the game mode, because I know so many people who are just like, I will never set foot into PvP, or I did, and everybody has a horror story. I went, and they're not going into trials, they're not going into comp, they're just like, I jumped into control, I jumped, you finally drug your buddy kicking, screaming into PvP, going, let's just play 3 matches for the pinnacle, let's just get the the exotic drops now. That's all we're gonna do. And they do not have a good time. They're getting stomped. They're getting kicked to the curb. They do not have a good experience, so they never come back. So you can't expect to grow any of these, and that's the ladder. You play the game, you get better at the game, you enjoy the game, you go to comp, you go to trials, you say, let me jump into Iron Banner willingly. Getting people into the playlist and keeping them there, yeah, it's not for everybody. You're never going to have everyone playing PvP. But giving people a good experience when they get in there and give them a reason to stay.
See, comp was supposed to be like comp was in Halo. You got your goal was what, to get to 55, right? So you would come in and get assessed after a trial set of games, and then you were at 13, and that's where you were in life.
Let's go back to Night Demon though. Okay.
Sorry.
So, Night Demon,
Yes.
what would
I'd
you
like
like
to-
to see improved?
I think maps are the key. I really do think the maps are the key, because when we had so many downtimes or lulls in Destiny 1, there were so many more maps, or even it felt like there were so many more maps because they didn't vault any of the maps. And just looking
keep adding
on, looking on the Destinypedia, I think I'm counting 31 maps in total.
31.
31, and currently
How many we have now, Night Demon?
25. But those aren't 25 that are the same 25 that were in Destiny 1. So I think I said on our show many times, I would like to see the ones from Destiny 1 come across, and the ones that they also vaulted, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that they have vaulted. So we've got Citadel, Solitude, Retribution, Legion's Gulch, Gambler's Ruin, Firebase Echo, Equinox, and Emperor's Respite, sorry, from Destiny 2. But like in Destiny 1, we had the dungeons, we had the Drifter, which was the one on the ship that had the zero gravity on it. Icarus, don't even remember Icarus. Floating Gardens, the last exit. I remember that one because that was the really short map with
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good map.
Thieves' Den, the Timekeeper, Asylum, Shores of Time. We've got back Skyline, Crossroads,
A Bastion.
Black Shield. We've got Pantheon,
Black
Blind Watch, Firebase Delphi.
There you go.
Yeah, we have got Cauldron, Anomaly, First Light. That was the big one, wasn't it? Sector 6,
the moon.
which was the PlayStation exclusive one that we only had for a short time. So that there are so many ones that they could dip into and bring across, because they were built for 6v6. And the issue that they had with Destiny 2 was that they built many of the maps for 4v4, which is what we originally started with. And then they came a cropper when we all kind of went, no, we like 6v6 and 3v3. So they're like, okay. So I would like to see maps. I think if you throw maps at people, and the way that they're continuing to keep kind of revitalizing the sandbox, I think that is a good start to keep people interested in the game. And I've got faith that they will continually do it, but it's just they need to kind of put the maps in.
I got a
Make
caveat.
maps more available, because there's 25 maps, but they're not even available in every single playlist.
No.
Some
No,
playlists they all give you a subset of those maps. So it's not like I load up Control or Trials and there's 25 maps to choose from. It's whatever the subset is that's available in Control or Clash or Showdown or whatever it is. So it's even a smaller number in real life. Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. Like, did you already speak your piece? I don't know if you did or not. Okay.
Yep, no, I'm good.
So I wanted to add on to this discussion on like the future and like what could be better and stuff like that with your question that you had, Hazel. Like when you look at a problem with a certain thing, you got to look at what's succeeding for the other thing, right? What's succeeding right now for PvE side of it? Like, what is it about it? Is the story, the lore, the feel, the resources poured into it and stuff like that. No,
The constant flow of more content, more spaces.
it has substance to it, and I think that's the big thing that PvP really doesn't have. It doesn't have substance outside of loot, right? Like some weapons, some Crucible weapons, Trials weapons, Iron Banner weapons. Okay, so that's the only thing that it has to it. To where the PvE side, you have that plus more. You have story, you have content, you have a good thing going, and I love the PvE side. So what I'm saying is, I think that maybe there needs to be, if they were to sit there and be like, hey, let's focus the PvP side, how about we sit there and give it a bit of a story to it? Now, I'm not talking about an entire season. I know TV kind of brought that up in his reaction response. There'll never be, a season of this, a season of Crucible or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there should be something with that. There should be something like, hey, let's talk about Shax's story. Let's talk about what the hell the Crucible was invented for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is the Crucible a thing? It's to sit there and train Guardians to go prepare for the big fights against, Xivu and Oryx and all these other bad guys, right? Give it some substance, give it some purpose, and I think that would be a really good thing. And then on top of it, in your guys' episode, I believe it was one of your callers in, or perhaps a Discord one that sat there and talked about the open world PvP aspect. Like, could you imagine how badass that would be to sit there and have an open world, a quote unquote dark zone type thing, or even in like one of the best games I played to this date, like back in the early 2000s, was Star Wars Galaxies, to where that shit was just complete open world. If you were a rebel and you saw an Imperial and you were both flagged for PvP, you guys could duel anywhere and take their shit and all that kind of stuff. It was a little bit more ruthless. And also, what about like dueling? Just a simple duel. Let's duel each other right here. I don't know if you guys know World of Warcraft, but there's a dueling mechanic that you can do pretty much anywhere, to where you're just challenging the other person. Hey, let's practice against each other. Like, how cool would that be in the tower? And like, and wow, people would be circling around like, oh, let's watch these two duel. Like, just give it some substance, give it some variety outside of hitting the launch button, And I think that would definitely bring some good shit.
Maybe that's after the final shape.
Hey, I've got a quick question here, because you mentioned something there about season, like a PvP focused season.
Mhm.
How many people, just a quick yes or no, would be down for a PvP season?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
If Gambit can get one, PvP can get one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. So, fun fact. Okay. I set y'all up. So per TV, he said that true PvP players don't want that.
Well, tell him to 1v1 me right now. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Time to duel.
Let's
That's
go.
what he said.
Sidearms
He said
only.
that- He said
I will
that.
meet him in Iron Banner all week long.
Yeah, but that's what he said though. He said that like PvP players don't want that outside of a limited minority.
So why? What was his reasoning for why not?
I'm
Well,
trying to
because
figure
they
the
don't want
context.
that, because they know that the game is PvE focused. So to take the focus off of that would be basically
All right. Whoa,
like
whoa, whoa.
unreasonable.
You're taking that out of context.
Oh, how am I taking it out of
Because
context when
he
said that PvP
because-
players don't want it outside of a minority of people?
What he meant by that is we're not ball hogs. We don't want the whole game to bend to us. All we want, just throw us a bone, man. Just throw us a bone. We don't have to have a whole season of Crucible.
Yeah,
Just
you
throw
do.
us a bone. Throw us something, man. That's what he meant by
Isn't
that
that-
statement.
But would so
You
you're
deserve
talking
your
out of
own
both
season.
sides of your mouth.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you're taking that statement he said out of context. Because he said, now we don't want a PvP season. PvP players, we don't want a PvP season. We just want a bone. Throw us a bone. That's all he said in that video. And he said it a lot.
Well,
Well,
with that being said, why don't we entertain the idea of a PvP season? Because I okay,
We don't want one.
one.
No, yeah, you don't get one because you don't want one.
That was one of
That's
the.
it, done.
Fuck this.
You don't have to participate, but So again, again, PvP players, you guys have content, so I mean, be thankful for that. It could be worse. We got Season of the Drifter. So I mean, again, using this as the example of we're going to have a season and then never think about a thing again. That's when we had a whole new game mode, 4 custom armor sets, an entire armor sets, and basically positions on the field built around this, an entire second game mode in Reckoning that they created for this with its own gear, its own armor set. I'm still rocking the Gnawing Hunger I got from that role back when it was around last. I mean, whole new weapon sets, whole new armor, massive gameplay updates, and that was also the season where we had the Recluse, the Oxygen SR3, and then 21% Delirium as our ritual weapons.
That's amazing.
So I mean, take something again. I know they've said we're not doing ritual weapon. We're not doing that game breaking. Oh my God, you get this weapon and you one tap everybody in the Crucible again. But just give me something like that. Give me something to chase. Give me, hey, here's a limited time for this year or this season, or hey, each of these next 3 seasons there will be some sort of either twist on Crucible or a different Crucible game. You gave us Gambit and Gambit Prime. Give me a twist on a Crucible thing, and then give me, hey, I get my Crimson Days back. Hey, it's a season of doubles. We're going to start with Crimson Days, and then we're going to give you, 2 or 3 other 2 and 2 modes, or 3v3 or 4v4, or a crazy action sack Halo style playlist of it's to celebrate Guardian games. We're going to have insert your ridiculous thing here. Take it, run with it, make a whole theme around it. Like I said, if you can do it for Gambit, you can absolutely do it for Crucible.
Yeah.
No one says you have to participate. Nobody says you have to do this. But, you absolutely can. And there is sort of, a little blueprint of, hey, they've done it once. Now, I'm not saying don't do it once and then never think about it again. But, hey, if Gambit can have a whole season, you could absolutely do a PvP-focused season with game and story elements and new, putting the big investment. That's the big giant sign you can put on the highway going, hey, here's the big PvP season. Here's all the new stuff you're going to get, in the season, in the year, in the final shape, whenever they do it. Here's the big bow we can put on top of it. And here's all the cool things you're going to have inside of that.
Yeah.
Still waiting for it. Still waiting for that season.
To boot,
you're
if it
not,
was
though.
a
You don't need
PvP
it, though.
focused season, how cool would it be on the PvE side to get to know Shax a little bit more and to do some stuff with him and
Exactly.
know his story?
That's after the final shape.
No, but you don't
They're
get
gonna-
it because you don't want it though.
Or maybe Shax will replace Zavala.
What Verity said with the whole Gambit and the Derelict thing, like those extra activities that they did specifically for Gambit, I'd be curious to see how they'd implement that for PvP. Sorry, Raider, I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
No, you get like maybe they will replace Zavala with Shax.
How do they get Shax out of Zavala out of the game now that he's spoken his last recorded
Yeah, I saw that.
content?
That's crazy, man. I saw
curious how
people
they
talk
do it.
about AI to like send them off and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know, man.
Do you
That's
think it'll
rough.
be like
story?
I did read
yeah? Do you think it'll
somewhere-
be like, oh, did you hear about Zavala? He didn't make it back from so and so. You think it'll be like as a matter of fact like that, or
Come on now.
I'm hoping not.
I think they have enough content to keep him as an NPC. But in terms of a story-focused season or things like that, well, that time's already passed. So, that work's already been completed. So, I think he's good just to be in the game for now.
Yeah, and this is one of these unattributed. Oh, I heard someone talk about this somewhere. Not sourced from Bungie, but I heard someone say like, hey, with voiceover work, oftentimes they will have the actor actress who are doing that character sort of record a sort of break glass in worst case scenario send off for that character to sort of use again either because of contract negotiations or whatever else, or the untimely passing, or any of those sort of, for some reason you can't come back and sort of write your character out. So I'm hoping maybe there's something like that exists of hey, here's where we can sort of do this and give him the send off that he deserves.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Don't count out AI also.
That was our
Say
last
that.
episode.
And I hate to say that dirty word, but man, AI is amazing right now.
Or you could just use Nolan North.
You mean Oliver North?
Peter Dinklage, get
Yeah,
Peter
I was gonna say, bring
Dinklage back and
bring back
just
the Dink.
come full circle.
Bring back Ollie.
All right, I think
So,
for one of the
sorry, go ahead there.
one of the last things that we'll touch on this topic here is The dedicated server thing, because that's a huge thing, right? Like Marathon's getting it, and that pisses people off. And Destiny is like, bro, we've been waiting on this shit forever. Like, and now you're doing it for your new shiny toy. If they could sit there and bring on about like dedicated servers, do you think that would reinvigorate the fan base for the PvP side?
No.
No, it's too late. Now the reason, Native, if you remember seeing the documentary on how they were making Marathon, I think it was Scott Taylor who said this statement. He goes, "Listen, integrity is our number one thing with this game. If we can't have integrity where there's no cheaters and people lag switching or peer-to-peer is not working correctly because you're across the country." He emphasized that we started with PvP integrity and then built the game around that. It's too late for Bungie. It's too late for Destiny. It's too late to do that. I think that writing's already on the wall, and I think that's the reason they went dedicated servers, is because of that statement Scott Taylor made.
Do you think it's a financial thing to do the dedicated servers, or do you think it's just is what it is at this point?
Battlefield had dedicated servers forever. People would try to lag switch or do something, they just run in place and you just shoot them in the head. You can try to lag switch or cheat or whatever. It's not going to affect my gameplay. I'll just shoot you in the head and you'll just move on. If people had bad connections, they would literally just start running in place and could do nothing in the game. That's because of dedicated servers, not peer-to-peer. Because peer-to-peer is going to affect me. All of a sudden, my packets are getting slung around because of this one guy in the party of 12 we're playing 6v6. His packets are messing up everybody's. You notice those long join times? You know there's somebody who doesn't have a good connection when you're trying to join a match and the screen goes black forever before the game starts. That's because the servers are trying to collect all this information and then release it. It's always a bad sign. It's a bad sign.
Not many people, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Now with dedicated servers, I mean, I'm no freaking expert. I think I am after dealing with IT this week, but you with dedicated servers, I know this is the way it was in Battlefield, is they had 32 versus 32 and there wasn't a hiccup. There were tanks running everywhere. There were planes flying. It was total mayhem.
True.
And those servers never failed. Well, most of the time never failed. They can handle the capacity because it was all dedicated. It was all run from one central location. We're just playing a part of it. But everything has to go back to Bungie's servers and then back out. And that bottleneck is what creates the issues with stability, I think, right now.
Yeah, so two things. One, Marathon has to be dedicated servers, and the PvP has to be phenomenal, because that's all there is.
Right.
There's nothing else to fall back on, for one. So you have to do PvP and do it right. And two, Destiny is never going to re-architect the game to dedicated servers. At best, you are on 9-year-old code, 9-year-old infrastructure. The amount of work to rewrite that, to use dedicated servers, you don't want that, because it's going to be years before you get the game back to where it is now on dedicated servers. You're rewriting the game.
That's just a whole new game at that point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and this is saying, at a minimum 9 years. This is assuming that was Halo dedicated servers or was Halo peer to peer? Does anybody know?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So I'm saying, bare minimum 2014 is when they started. I mean, they said before some of the systems in this game are from Halo. Some of this code is older. God knows how many years old. If Halo was peer to peer as well, it could be pieces of that they've taken and rewritten and built upon and built upon and built upon and built upon. It's not like you can just rip out, say, hey, we're doing dedicated servers now and have things working. You are rebuilding this game from scratch.
Halo's
on the PvP side. It was okay. That's what I had a suspicion, but I could not remember. So yeah, I mean, a marathon's going to be, because it has to be, and it's a brand, it's a 2020 era. That's when they started working on this thing. So of course they're going to do it right. And again, that's all there is. It has to be amazing. If the PvP sucks, it's going to bomb, and then you have no game. Destiny is, they're not going to massively do a rewrite on Destiny, even if it goes on for another 10 years. The investment and the time, we as players don't want to say, they're going to say, hey guys, after the final shape 3 years from now, we'll have dedicated servers out. Because it's going to take us, that long to rewrite all this and get it back to the point where it's working. They're not going to do
PvP until then.
Right. And yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not worth the investment. It's not worth, rebuilding this game from the ground up to give you a thing that may or may not solve your problems. We're still going to be moaning about maps because if you're doing that, you're not doing anything else. We're like getting new PvP stuff because that all has to be written and built.
Mhm.
I mean, Destiny is going to be Destiny, whether it ends after the final shape or goes on for another 10 years. Unless they do a full-on brand new game and say, hey, here's where D2 ends, here's where D3 or whatever, Destiny Infinite, whatever begins. They're not going to rip out the underlying core of this game and rebuild it. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, I think that was.
I've been dealing with IT and infrastructure and server and architecture all week, so my brain's sort of like in this world.
Well, I mean, I for one appreciate that because I don't understand how a lot of that stuff works. I mean, I have an idea and I have a good intuition because I have a background in computer networking technology, but this ins and outs, I mean, you certainly have a bit more knowledge in that area than I do, so I appreciate it.
Tiny bit. I'm sure the people out there going, he's entirely wrong about all the things. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I am. I'm no expert, but I know just enough to be dangerous. But if for nothing reason, I mean, from a business perspective, they're going to say, we can keep going with this game we've been running successfully for 9 years and improve on it, or stop and do a major rewrite that's going to take people and hours and time that you're still paying for as a company to give you, do you improve on the game or do you stop, rip out all your PvP, rebuild it, and you still have to pay all those people? You still, it's still time and money as a company you're spending for what?
So
Is it worth the investment?
So what about this? Like the lack of giving to the PvP community and stuff like this. Like we deal with this and we blame it on the general population, right? Blame it on the new game coming out, Marathon. Like, what if the end of the saga is the reset? Is the change to something new? Is the change to bring about dedicated servers or new engines or anything like that? Has that been confirmed that after Final Shape, it's going to be anything new, infrastructurally, or?
Well, I mean, they basically said Destiny's not over after Final Shape, and there's also this
Right.
Matter IP that's floating around. There's this Matter IP, which is not Marathon, it's not Destiny, it's something else. But it sort of has been resurfaced in all of I think the Activision Blizzard. Microsoft buying them and sort of surfaced some of these old emails from when the rumors of, hey, might Microsoft buy Bungie? So it's sort of this Matter IP they've been working on, which is something is out there, but we don't know what it is. They've not talked about it. They've said, hey, it's not Marathon and it's not Destiny. It's something else. Might it be related to that? Sure. But it's something else out there that they are doing something with. Is it the TV show? Is it the movies? Is it a whole new game? Is it the mobile game that I keep hearing people talk about? It's something that some part of the company is working on. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's their code name for, hey, we're working on Destiny 3 or whatever they call the next evolution of Destiny. I mean, at some point, hey, say our game's been up for 10 years. We've got technical debt forever. At some point, it would make it easier to cut the cord and say, hey, this is where we leave the old consoles behind. This is where we up the system specs. This is where we start requiring faster memory, faster SSDs, all this other stuff. When does that happen?
That's what I'm curious about. Like, could that be happening in the background now?
Rodimus's theory that they're slowly improving the servers, right? Getting ready.
No, that was mine. Rodimus was that they're improving. What was it again?
Well, he said they were making slight changes every week to the server system. Whatever that means. The engine, whatever.
That's for what the TWID was about this week, is basically saying, hey, there's this claim system, all of the 10,000 systems that power this game, and any one of them can fall over and break. So it's like, hey, we're working on all these things, keeping them up and running while keeping this game working and accessible for all of us for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, every single day, every single week, they're working on the back end. They're working on infrastructure. They're working on stuff that we as players never see or interact with.
Yeah.
We see, like they talk about this claim system. Hey, I got a kill in PvP. Hey, I picked up a weapon. Hey, I did this. All of that is all these servers on the back end doing all this stuff that we never see, but it all has to work for us to enjoy our game, to get our little, our characters to move, our guns to play right, our bullets to hit. Like they're always working on the stuff and improving this stuff. It's not like they're going, all right, we've turned the game on. Now we can walk away for 2 weeks and come back.
And what you've also got to consider is the fact that we still have Destiny 1 tied to Destiny 2, because when the servers go down for Destiny 1, they also go down for Destiny 2, and vice
Mhm.
versa sometimes.
Hmm.
I don't understand why they're still connected, but they're still connected in some way that if one affects the other.
Yeah, I think at some point we lose D1, and then D2, kicks the old consoles to the curb, and we see that bump. And okay, here's the new thing. You're gonna need to have the new stuff to play it.
You better have 100 gigs.
We're gonna start cutting. We're gonna start cutting off the old people. And I was just reading today. PC games are starting to say you need to have SSD memory. I mean, honestly, you're not buying a new computer today running on old spinning rest hard drives. You're just not. It's you sort of have to work to find those. Like, we're still supporting. I mean, what, the PS4 and like Xbox, like the original Xbox One can still play Destiny 2. I mean, put that next to a Series X. Put the PS4. I don't know, all the various PlayStation versions. Put that next to the 5 and the 6 or whatever when that comes out, and saying, this can play the same thing. Your blazing PC and your 10-year-old ancient PC can play the same game. It's not the same experience.
Nah,
You can
not at all.
absolutely still play it. At some point, somebody's going to say, you can't do this anymore. We're going to have to move that minimum requirements to be a lot more modern to let us do all the things we want to do. Looking at you, Vault Space.
I wanted to quickly revisit a question that Hazel had asked me earlier in regards to what Bungie could do to make PvP feel better for me specifically, even where I had answered a higher pop. I'm gonna reconsider that answer. Shit, I just had the new answer on the tip of my tongue and it's gone because I was fucking talking.
Welcome to my world.
Lower population. You decide you want fewer people. If it's just you, it'll be perfect. You're the only no.
We're all getting older, Sweaty.
Oh gosh, I'm fading.
It's contagious.
Hey, that's
was
my
all-
line.
I was holding on to it too. That was my problem. I was holding on. I was like, don't forget it, don't forget it, don't forget it.
Notepad, bro. Notepad. That's what I did. I pulled out my notepad. I started typing shit before I forget.
I need to start doing that. I need to
It'll
do
come
that.
back to me. It'll come back to me.
We'll fix it in post. It'll be fine. It'll be flawless.
Yeah, I'll edit that.
I'll edit that. Yeah.
I think we wrapped up pretty much the show topic. We've talked about it a bit. I think we'll skip probably the TWID and everything like that, but there's some good stuff in there. There's some great stuff in the Bungie Day Giving Festival 2023 that I encourage people to talk about and look at. And there's some really excellent rewards. I think if I remember right, they partnered with 3 other hospitals, pediatric hospitals, that are supplying iPads to children that are going through whatever it is and it's all with their aged based educational apps or entertainment, which is awesome, man. Like Bungie, even though we can sit there and rant and rave about like our game and shit like that, they're doing good things in the community. I love that shit, and that gives you an extra effort to just continue to support their company, their game, regardless of any kind of little things that we want to bitch about,
Reason they won an award, the Game Awards for Best Community.
Yeah. There's also a shit ton of rewards coming to that festival. My bad, go ahead.
I was going to say, don't skip over the TWID, because my man Parody, he's got in-depth knowledge of this new system, this claim system.
The claim system, yeah, I know. I read up on that. But for time's sake, I feel like we might need to. And if you guys want to hear it, you got 2 Titans of the Hunter. You also got Guardian Downcast. That's probably, if you're listening to us.
Shit broken. That's all you can hear.
Yeah.
In-depth knowledge is overselling this. I have baby's first bit of knowledge, so I can sort of understand broadly what they're talking about. But no, I am in no way at this level of knowledge. I just understand what half these words mean. That's all.
Yeah, the claim system is the bad guy. That's your yellow bar.
Your TLDR.
And then they also had an update with a lot of different changes that came out Tuesday. That's 7.1.3 or 7.1.0.3. Before we do end this, and any closing thoughts for you guys, I'm not trying to cut it off or anything like that, but I did want to get to these questions that Raph asked, because I promised him that they would get answered. He did it via the YouTube live. We do have questions from the Discord, but we're going to save those for the next show. But we have to get to these, especially with our primary guests here with Hazel and Gatr. The first one from Raph. Question for Hazel. Will you ever not argue like a married couple with Gatr?
No. Well, I mean, only if he ever, just agrees with me blindly.
Which is never going to happen. So there you go, Rafi.
That sounds like a married couple.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I'm not going to say you're right.
No, I was talking to Native, not you.
Oh, sorry.
Married couple again.
Native's like, I've had this conversation.
Exactly.
And then Rafi driving in a question for Native. When I visit my family in Cali, when will we hang out, brosive?
As soon as you land, I'll pick you up. I got you. I'll pick you up from the airport. Ontario, LAX, or even Vegas, which is closer-ish, traffic-wise. I got you. The last one was a question for the show. And I'm not going to read this, what I interpret this to be, but it says, is Belle a B? And then it's followed by 4 asterisks with a question mark. So I'm not
Rafi
sure.
means to say he's Belle a bitch.
Oh, is that what that means? Is that what
That's
that
what
means?
that means.
It's
Yeah.
a common
I think
question.
So. No, it's
It's a common question.
wow.
Right?
I'm like,
No, I mean, we've heard it in other shows.
The way you said it, though, it's like, yeah, obviously.
I'm sorry, Gatr.
No.
The big
No.
word scary. I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's not what I meant, Bill. Love you, bro.
I'm trying to think of what he means. It's B and 4 asterisks.
4 asterisks. What could that be?
Yeah, is Belle
Brunch? No,
a
it's too many.
brunch? It could
No,
be
no, it's-
Is he bellicose?
Bukaki? No, wait, that's too much.
Sorry, Night Demon. I don't know these guys. It's my first day here.
I know nothing. I just work here.
I think it's Isabella Beast.
Oh,
Beast.
that's it.
And I think he might be.
He
Yeah.
might be.
Belle is a beast.
He ran 3 miles and then he
You know what?
hit me with
You're
some
right.
arrows in the head in the last scrims. He might be a beast.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's
Yep.
what that
Can
is.
confirm.
Yep. Rafi, man is a gentleman right there. Look at that.
All right, we'll get to the other Discord questions on our next episode. But first, closing thoughts, gentlemen, on like everything that we discussed here, PvP, the future, the current state. Like, please, let's go around the table real quick before we get to our announcements. Starting with you, Hazel, up top left.
All right. I want to say, I mean, the future, well, I mean, not to be funny, but I mean, it can go nowhere but up. So
Okay.
here's hoping that it does and that, that people enjoy the ride.
Trust the
and not
process.
yeah, exactly. Trust Bungie. And here's hoping that the PvP players don't get the season that they want, or don't want.
That's you, Gatr.
Everyone needs to, especially our veterans that are among us, need to remember why we played this game originally. The magic about it that made it such a great game and why we still play it today. And just to be good to your guardians out there, man. All this slander and calling out people, and why? I don't understand. It's why I say it at the end of our show. Be good to your guardians out there. We're all in this together, And as far as the future of PvP, I think Hazel said it. Damn, did I just agree with Hazel? It can go nowhere but up. I'll leave it at that.
And our 2 additional guests that crashed the party here, Parody, Night Demon.
I would just like to say, remember, it can go down. Look at Gambit as your guide.
You mean the 2
that
maps?
guy, but I'm just we've got
Gambit
3, including
different
Planet, that
place,
hasn't
not
existed for
Planet.
years.
3
It
maps.
warms my heart starting this season and stepping foot onto Titan going, well, I've been here for months. I feel right at home. This is just a Gambit map. We're just here hanging out. But seriously, I mean, it's a game. We play it to have fun. We
Mm.
play it to relax. We play it to hang out with our friends. We play it to, turn our brains off and get away from life, or we play it to say, I met lovely people who live across the country and across the world, and I can say I can put a fire team together between the US, the UK, and Australia and go really test these servers and see what happens between that and a trial. Have a good time with it. Play the friend game, play the fashion game. If you're not enjoying it, there's other games. Destiny will be there. It will be fine. Just it's this point, just the toxicity. This is what turns people off. This is,
Yep.
if you're saying, why are people not playing, there was someone in the Reddit going, hey, is it like this every week? I sort of just came to the game. I picked up, I saw it on Steam, picked up, played through the New Light campaign, really enjoyed it. Said, let me go look for communities. Oh my God, I walked into this toxic, mud throwing fest. It's a game. Just take a breath and relax. There's plenty of other games. No one, no one's going to hunt you down and go, you didn't put your 20 hours into Destiny this week. It's a game. Take a breath, relax. That is correct. Unless you're on a podcast, 19 will, your show editor will hunt you down and say, listen, we have a show to put out. But beyond that, you're good to go. So don't be a content creator for a game if you don't want to go enjoy and play the game.
And I will just say that I've already bought my ticket for the hype train. I am waiting at the station for August 22nd, and I know Bungie are going to deliver, and it's going to blow everybody out of the water, and everybody's going to turn their cars around and go, okay, we're going back on that train, and we're going to go back down here, and it's going to be amazing because they're bringing back Cade as well. Come on, there must be something fantastic going on with the final shape and the future of Destiny. They're not just going to announce game stuff. I think it's going to be stuff that they actually partner up with Sony for films and other media. It's going to be fantastic, and we're all going to lose our stuff, and it's going to be amazing.
I hope we find it. But
what
our stuff?
Okay,
that we lost.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It's like our vault exploding in Destiny 1. We get it all back at some point.
We get our negativity back. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
A year from now, we'll be right back here.
Yeah. Meet you all back here. We'll set our watches. We'll be back here and we'll talk about how the community's blown up again because they're
same
upset.
bat time, same bat channel.
It will be all the Gambit mains that'll be upsetting it this time next year. Parody be leading the charge. I want my reckoning back.
Give me my reckoning. Give me my Gambit Prime. Give me my 4 different classes. Come on.
Bungie goes, Destiny goes through these seasons. We're just in that one season that everyone's doing the same thing they did a year ago, and the year before that, and the year before that. Is what it is.
It's a good season right now, though. That's the shit I don't get.
Season D,
bro, it's a good ass season.
Go to the helm, look at some fish, take a deep breath. Go find one of Froggy's videos where he goes and swims through all the fish out of bounds. Just deep breath. Enjoy the callous bobblehead. Just deep breath. Enjoy the water. Enjoy the fishes.
Sweaty, what you got?
Well, right now, if PvP ain't doing it for you, raiding is a real good time. The future of Destiny 2 PvP. Of course, it can only go up from here. I think what the community at large, just again, personal opinion, is we have to really temper our expectations and perhaps not be so entitled to whenever things don't go our way. Now, of course, there is a certain, whenever Bungie says it themselves, it makes it a little bit more difficult that way. But, I think that our expectation level should just probably start to come down a little bit so we can allow ourselves to be surprised when that one good thing does pop, and then we can really notice it. If we can still lower our expectations, still play the game, then why are we getting so worked up to begin with? Because honestly, I'm just here to have some fun, man. I like shooting stuff and I like making friends. That's basically why I play this game. If I'm not having fun, either by shooting stuff, if I'm not having fun, either by making friends, go somewhere else for the time being. I'll come back because Destiny will still be here.
Beautiful, bro. I love that. No, that was good. For myself, closing thoughts, future of PvP. Bro, I'm still having fun in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And if you're not, maybe you just need to get better, perhaps. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe improve your skill. Maybe get in there a little bit more. Maybe do some other shit. It's up to you.
Why are
But
you looking at Hazel?
Listening to that.
Just take some.
I'm still having
Crucible
fun.
and pump some Crucible iron, okay?
Yeah, or just play Titan and have fun, and have 1 or 4 drinks. Like, it's up to you. But I enjoy it, man. Like, I still enjoy it. I don't understand the exact big blemish that's put on the PvP side. I understand. Let's get a new map. Let's get something new. But I'm still very, very well enjoying it. Maybe you play it too much. Like Sweaty said, go hit another game. And I guarantee you probably go to another game and you probably be like, damn, man, like I kind of want to play Destiny again. This is kind of ass, you know? Like, it's up to you. But I'm enjoying it. That's it. I can only look up.
Yeah, I end up missing that optimal 3 tapping, TTK on a hand cannon. I'm like, that satisfaction dopamine hit hasn't hit in a while. I need to do that again. Let's go play some Control or something.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and run into announcements real quick. I'll hit announcements if you want to hit the this week on YouTube, the toy. I think we're gonna start calling it that, the toy. This week on YouTube, the toy. All right, toy. Yeah, the toy. All right. Announcements. Real quick. Scrims next Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join up in the 100.io bot on Discord. We're gonna try to keep this a running thing on Sundays and throughout the weekend, but we're gonna try to keep this running thing. Website and merch shop was delayed a little bit, but will be up soon, and we'll announce it via the announcement channel in the Discord. We'll also be announcing the time and details of our next trivia night. Me and Fluffy will be hosting it again this season, and it's gonna be open to the public this time, open to the Discords, open to the Owl Sector Alliance, but more details are to come. There will be a prize. I actually have the prize in the drawer right now. So yeah, that's coming and it's going to be fun. And we're going to do a 2-rounder this time. And there's not just going to be like text questions. There'll also be audio. There'll be videos, kind of like your typical daily doubles and shit like that. So it's going to be fun. Looking forward to that one. You want to take this week in YouTube?
Absolutely. So coming over to the BlueBerry Lounge toy. Whoa. All right, starting off, we got Moira. Moira's Best Destiny 2 Crucible Weapons per Archetype Season 21. Then we got Night Demon. Rolling on in with the Shada 1 This Week in Destiny and Eververse shaders. And myself, well, I had a stream of The Big Battle featuring yours truly. Then we had Mr. Raider. We had Fluffy. Who else? We had one more person, didn't we?
We did. I think we did. Something
Who did we
happened.
have? I can't remember
Why?
who it was now.
Why?
Watch the video and find out.
Yeah.
Give the video a watch and a like, and you too will find the answer to this question.
I was supposed to be that member. Internet prevailed.
Oh, I'm just busting your balls, Gatr.
I know. I'm still bummed I couldn't do it. I was so pissed that night.
All good, man. All good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. There it was. That is episode 22 in the books. But before we go, we would like to give our guests a little bit of the spotlight. So let's start with Gatr and Hazel. If you guys could give your details to the listener where they can find you, and then following that, we'll do the same with Parody and Night Demon.
What'd you do the podcast too, Hazel?
Oh man. Okay, sure. Get ready for some disappointment. Again, we're 2 dads. We love the game of Destiny, that kind of thing. And if you want to hear hot takes arguing by old dads, check us out at guardiandowncast.com.
Well said. Where can they find you though, Hazel?
Oh, well, yeah. You can find me Anywhere and everywhere, quick and easy. Hazelnt in all the places except for Twitch, where I never stream anymore, and it's the Hazelnt.
Gotta like that branding. I am Todd the Gatr. That's 2Ds, Gatr. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. Hey, I have a channel. I make videos for people who are trying to figure out all the little things in this game called Destiny 2 that we all love. And I have some opinion pieces. I have short clips, YouTube shorts of our podcast, Guardian Downcast. All of our podcast episodes are also on that channel as well. So it's at Todd the Gatr if you're going to YouTube Direct. And I have another podcast called the Destiny Help Desk that does the very same thing that my YouTube channel does, but in an audio form for those of you who don't have time to watch videos and just want to listen to something while at work. So check it out.
And
if
that
you'd
would
like
be
to-
our good. Oh, sorry. You go right on ahead there, sir.
I'll just say we do what they do, except we have a British guy and a guy who shouts more. Yeah, so, and we've also cornered the market. Just go to a search box, type in Two Titans and a Hunter. You'll find the show. You'll see the lovely neon dragons. We've actually paid everyone to direct you to our show first, and then find the rest of the shows. It was a
This
lot
is
of
true.
money. The conversions into British pounds. It took some work, but we got it done.
He's not lying.
He's not.
It's actually true.
Google, they have the Google juice.
Yeah.
All credit to the British man who makes this show possible every single week and continues to pump out those videos, who has a mind like a steel trap and knows everything and all the things. He has a rotation list. He has enough to wrangle a respawn. And if you can do that for like 3 years, I mean, I think he's just another
4 years.
child at this point.
Just don't tell my wife it's 4 years.
We would never. We would never. We've been doing this for like 2 or 3 weeks. Tops,
Yeah.
promise.
Does that look worse on Respawn or worse on Night Demon for putting up with each other, though?
Well, just remember, I mean, Saladin is Night Demon's exterior, but Retail Spawn's interior. So they're actually one and the same person. Just depends on the day.
That's amazing.
No, but this has been a blast. Thanks for letting us crash. Since this is international and you need to record a Destiny podcast on Thursday night, I appreciate you letting us come and crash the party.
Hell yeah.
That so we actually just we have the surveillance set up on Gator's house, so we just need to know we have Respawn drive by, update the cameras, move him around periodically, so we know what he's up to, so we can go find him. That's all.
Just don't piss on my truck, please.
Again.
We won't again. Exactly. Once was enough.
They got the point.
Uh-huh.
So
And for the-
Spooks and- sorry, I was
Oh.
going to say, for Spooks and Native for our podcast, how would people find you?
Mr. Native Raider. I think he's got a good answer for this.
On the internet?
The
Wow.
website.
Gotta love that branding.
Is that where this is? Wait, it's on the
That's
internet.
amazing.
The interweb? It starts with www. something letters and then ends with a .com. No, I'm not announcing the website yet. Spooks.
I'm sorry.
Because it has too many dashes and too many different things that make it look like a horrible spam, like I'm about to hack your ass like a URL. So until I lock down that URL, which is hopefully coming soon. It was supposed to be today, unfortunately it wasn't, but yeah, you can find us on here, YouTube, if you're watching. You can find us on any of your podcast networks, the Discord, and all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, if you're looking for the show, you can find us just by searching up the BlueBerry Lounge and Spotify or Apple Podcasts, really any kind of a podcast catcher that's out there. I'm pretty confident that we're pushed out to all of the platforms. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah,
If you're looking for us, just hit us up in Discord.
it's working well
We're good
too.
with you guys, so
I was at
Great
work.
artwork.
I was at work and I'm on a government computer, so there's no logins, there's none of that shit, and everything's flushed all the time, and all that security bullshit. And I sit there and I was like, let me see. I need to get the URL for our podcast. I was like, the BlueBerry Lounge, bro. We were on the top for that specific name, which was dope. So You could just
Very
Google.
nice.
Just Google.
You got awesome artwork too, by the way.
Thank you.
Love
Appreciate
that
you.
artwork. Who did
Yeah,
that?
dude.
I did.
Nice job, man.
Canva,
Absolutely.
the shit.
Canva's life.
Canva's the shit.
It is, man.
All right, Spooks, where can people find you?
Well, this is SweatySpookz, ending with a Z, as in Zulu, or Zebra, or Zebra. You can find me at sweaty_spooks at either Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or you can reach out to me in the Discord.
There we go. You can find me pretty much all the same places. That's N8IV space R8R. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I have a Twitch account. I'm working on that shit. Stream Elements is that's a son of a bitch, bro. I'm gonna tell you.
Learning curve.
Yeah, for real. But I'll be on there soon enough. Maybe kick. I don't know. We'll see.
Ride the kick train until it goes right into the ground like all the rest have.
True.
I'm going to be on Punch.
I'm gonna be on throw.
I'm going to be on Submission. Wait.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, don't Google submission.com. No, I'm just kidding.
That's hot.
There, that's a soundbite.
Tap, tap. I'll edit it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Episode 22. And with our closing statement, may your stars be bright and your ghosts sharp, guardians. Take care of each other out there.
Guardians
Deuces.
out.